Well, oh, well, oh, well, oh, well. Here we are. Let me get my focus, because I got the focus. Pardon me, people. Looking all crusty in the face. I've been having skin problems. People. I hope y'all can hear me. Caught me a staph infection, so my shit looks fucked up right now. I'm in here looking like Dennis. I'm in this motherfucking looking like Dennis. Hey, what's good, people? All right, I hope my moderators are in here because I'm seeing bots. People. Please get rid of the bots. Hope everybody's hearing me nicely. Are we, is our sound working for us? Let me know. Nah, this ain't gonna be about. Look, let me chill, man. Let me chill. No more smoke. I'm gonna chill with that. You know what I'm saying? I had some brothers. I ain't gonna say their names, man. But you know, look, man. I did a video some time ago about the proper representation of the manosphere. So I want to represent the manosphere correctly and not come at people, but we got to be respectful, man. If you're going to ask for people's opinions on your platform, you got to let them give them. And that's what I believe in doing, right? I like to let people give their opinions on this platform. When I let people on here, I like to let them talk. I'm interested in hearing what they have to say and offering either my agreement or my disagreement, and then explain why to them that I disagree with them. We can disagree. We can be civil. We're grown men. We don't need mediators. We don't need Minister Farrakhan's and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? We're grown people. You know what I'm saying? We're grown people. So with that said, this is called Black Man Stop Being a Slave. Okay? We're slaves. This is the Keep It 100 channel, where I keep it 100. I tell my friends the truth. I lie to niggas I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I keep it real with my friends, right? I'm going to assume everybody is watching me speak. We're cool. We're friends. And I don't think anybody comes here to listen to me because they hate the sound of my voice, right? So I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Some of this shit ain't going to feel good. But before we do that, let's catch up on some current events, shall we? Right? First, I always like to start with the memes. He said, I came to be a hater. Well, haters are welcome, right? We're gonna start with the memes first, right? Right? So I'm gonna bring up my shit here. Hold on, right? So I'm gonna go here with it. Now, not too long ago, I posted this, right? This is two pictures that came across me online, and I like to call this one white feminism and black feminism. Okay, white feminism and black feminism. That's what I call this work of art here. This composite of photos. If you follow me on Facebook, just know that the majority of memes that I post, I create, right? So you got a white woman sitting on a black woman on the left, right? And that picture created some uproar right there, right? Now, if that bothers you, then the picture on the right should bother you either just as bad or worse. Right? So you got a black girl standing on a little black boy so she can use the water fountain. Right? So she could use the water fountain. Right? So I had a guy, I posted this in the community on YouTube. I had, everybody was pretty much in agreement. I had one guy say, hey, man, it's natural for men to want to sacrifice. I don't call this sacrifice. I'll get you some shit to stand on. You ain't going to stand on me, motherfucker. But, it's natural. This is nature, he said. Nature. Not social, but nature. It's natural for men to sacrifice for women. So this is his idea of a black man sacrificing for a black woman so she can get a sip of water. Right? Right. So let me just focus in on that photo, right? Let me just go right to that photo, right? This is a little girl standing on a boy, right? Now, I think what people miss in this is you got two kids in this photo, right? This kid is bowing down, with his hands on the ground on some servant shit. And one thing that nobody mentioned in the comment section that I did is that an adult had to take this photo. These kids did not do this on their own. This kid did not get on the floor on his own to bow down for this little girl to stand on him to use the water fountain. I'm pretty sure he was instructed to do so, and then somebody pulled out their phone and took a picture. This is a message. This is a message, people. This is a message telling young children how shit should be. This is not nature. It's not fucking nature. Are you kidding me? Okay? Now, if that doesn't bother you. Oh, I got more, right? Okay. All right. So I posted this, right? Now, just before I got on here, I'm going through a debate over this right here. So, the Black Woman Defense Squad, Golden Girl, she says, my dream, because she has a dream like Martin Luther King did, my dream is for Black women to exist as individuals without being attached to Black men. A lot of the treatment we receive in society stems from our association with Black men and the fact that we claim them all as our brothers. If we abandon them, Black women's image will greatly improve. Now, mind you, the gentleman, who I will not name here unless he's somewhere in the chat and he wants to identify himself, he says to me, oh, all women, have hatred for their men. All demographics of women have hatred for their men. Well, while I will agree that all demographics of women have issues with their men, that's not what this is. It's not that simple here. So I told the gentleman, I said, show me proof of any other demographic, nationality, ethnicity of women saying that they don't want or don't wish to be attached to their male counterparts in their group so that their image would improve. And I want a consensus. I don't want one or two. I want a consensus. Now, this is not the first time I've seen this sentiment expressed. So I don't want somebody to say, oh, it's someone's isolated Twitter post. The fuck out of here. This is not the first time I've heard this sentiment expressed. Okay? If we abandon them, Black women's image will greatly improve. I'm trying to understand, what do Black men have to do with your WAP and your ratchet and all of that shit because that's something you do on your own. If you wasn't fucking with us and you claim not to, how would you improve your image outside of, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B bullshit, right? Because that's all you. You know, Tiffany Haddish type shit. That is all you, right? So I want to know, right? Because this brother, he's saying to me, oh, we got plenty of women who don't think like this. Yes, we do. We got plenty of them, but they are not the majority like he would like to claim. Somebody with a wrench, get rid of that bot. Bae, get that bot, please. I think you might have got it. Yeah, okay. So what I'm trying to say is here, if anybody thinks that this is something that occurs in all ethnicities, nationalities, show me proof. I want to see proof. I want to see a consensus of Asian, Latina, white women say that they want to be separated from their men so that their image in society, because read what it says, in society, a lot of the treatment we receive in society stems from our association with black men. That's what it says. So they would get better treatment if they did not fuck with us. We all saw the Fox Soul. We saw Ice Cube. We saw Lisa Ray and you know, Claudia Jordan, Selena Johnson, and good old Vivica Fox, right? And this is why you SYS. Okay? Right? Am I done? Oh, nah. Right? So this just a diversion, right? So I'm sure y'all all seen this. Tillis denounces Biden's administration plan to fund smoking kits and safe injection sites. Now, so, you know, the Democrats, which I like to call them, they would have you believe, you know, oh, it's not crack pipes, right? So smoking kit, what the fuck is in a smoking kit? So, you know, so they, you know, in order to help the drug problem, and mind you, I want black people to understand this is not about us. This is about, you know, opioid motherfuckers, right? But think about this. You know, we ain't going to lock your ass up. We're going to give you smoking kits, right? The shit that you need to smoke and get high, we going to give it to you so you could get high safely. And we going to have safe injection sites, right? Right? Safe injection sites. So this is places where you're going to get equipment to smoke and a place where you could smoke, you know, or safely inject, right? Who's a fan of The Wire, right? These motherfuckers is on some Amsterdam bunny COVID shit, right? Who's a fan of The Wire? So your man Biden is on some Amsterdam shit. And we all know what happened to Bunny ass. You know what I'm saying? What kind of shit is this? You know what I mean? That shit is crazy, man. All right. Look, let me come back, man. Because, you know, this shit is kind of crazy, man. Good old Bunny motherfucking COVID, right? So I got more for you, right? I got more, right? So who remembers Amsterdam from The Wire? My man said he got a safe spot for motherfuckers to get high. Ain't that some shit? Right. So look, check this out, right? Oh yeah, hold on. Damn. I had a couple more shits. Now, let me see. Let me see if I got them loaded up. I might have to come back to that. Yeah, I got to come back to that. So, boom, check this out, right? I got something else to show you before we get into the topic, right? Check this out. So, y'all ready for this? Lizzo wants to do Playboy magazine. Now, I was having this discussion with motherfuckers. They like, oh man, that shit would never happen. Lizzo wants to do Playboy magazine, and Pearson's will be front and center. Now, I ain't got the images pulled up, but we all watched the Super Bowl and we saw 50 come out, and 50 looked like he put on a little body weight over his muscle, because the motherfucker's solid under that shit. We already know, right? So they went in on this motherfucker and said, oh, yo, this motherfucker got fat. They fat shamed him, the whole shit, right? Now, mind you, every social media platform is deleting comments made to Lizzo about her weight. If you're making a comment to Lizzo, especially Twitter, if you're making a comment to Lizzo or you tag Lizzo or some shit like that, there are people at Twitter who are deleting these comments because, can't fat shame. But you can fat shame men, obviously, because I didn't see any other posts going at 50 deleted, right? But so now this is what we pushing, right? So you got Lizzo says she wants to do Playboy. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened at this point, because we had a trans person on Playboy. We had, a guy of an alternate lifestyle on Playboy. See, I gotta watch what the fuck I say on here. You had a man on Playboy cover, right? Because Hef is dead. Hef gone. That old school bunny with the tail on the ass shit is over. That shit is a wrap. So here we are. Lizzo might get in that motherfucker. Don't be mad if it happens. Don't be shocked. You know what I'm saying? And she said she want to be in Playboy. Talk about, tell Cardi I want to do Playboy. Like Cardi got some pull over that motherfucker, right? I'm just trying to understand, man. Who's gonna buy this shit? Are we just doing this shit to do it? Like WNBA, just do it to do it? I'm trying to understand. Right? So this is the world we're living in now, people. So now I'm addressing my black men. All right. Again, I got to tell y'all the truth, even when y'all don't like it. Even when y'all don't like it, man. This is Keep It 100, man. I keep it 100 all the time. So we're going to talk about slavery. Okay. So the title of this shit is Black Man Stop Being a Slave. Right. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with a German philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche. And what Friedrich Nietzsche, he wrote a bunch of things about slave morality versus master morality. I don't know who's familiar with this. Somebody say something to me in the chat if you're familiar with this. Right. Let me turn on Cash App just in case y'all hit me with something. I want to shout people out. Right. I don't want to ignore people's donations and shit. Right. So slave morality, master morality. Right. Understand. There's two different mindsets: the slave morality and master morality. And what we have is slave morality. Now, a few weeks ago, we spoke about, nature and morality, because morality is a social concept. It's a social construct. You go here, you go there, you got different beliefs in what's good and bad. You go to the East, they have a totally different belief system in how men interact with women and how women interact with men than we do. And they will die to keep that shit that way. So all this shit that we trying to do to, Americanize the East, them motherfuckers going to die for this shit. Right? So I'm going to start, before I get into the master morality, slave morality, I'm going to speak to y'all in the language of, I was talking to my man Mark, and I said these things that he wants me to include in this conversation. He's like, oh, make sure you don't leave that out. When we got here, because I think that we tend to look at slavery and our relationship with slavery, our context of slavery is this American slavery, chattel slavery thing. So let's talk about that for a second. When black people first got here from Africa, African people got here, to the islands, wherever their particular boat stopped, right? And they were brought into slavery. Those Africans knew that they weren't slaves. They were at one point in their lives free, and then now they had to have slavery beat into them physically. Your name's Kunta. Not no more. Your name's Toby now. Had to get the shit whipped out of you to change your name. Your name, we ain't calling you that African shit. We gonna call you what the fuck we want to call you, right? Then you hand a motherfucker a Bible, which got a bunch of, pro-slavery shit in it, right? So those slaves, right? They knew they wasn't slaves. They wasn't born slaves, right? And they worked. And then the motherfuckers in the U.S. came up with this great idea. They said, hey, man, fuck are we doing? We keep sending ships back. We gonna start breeding these motherfuckers here. Breeding them. So he went and got a bunch of bitches. Let's keep it real. And went and got a bunch of women from Africa. Because there's this idea, I'm sure a lot of guys in the chat are already familiar that women did not come on the first few slave ships. They were brought later because these guys came up with the ingenious. They sat in a room, and like Stephen and Django said, white people, they ain't never had a good idea in their life, decided we could breed these motherfuckers. Let's go get some women. And they went and got them some women and they brought them here. Now, that alone lets you know that these women that were brought here have really no allegiance to us. We weren't even brought here together as families, none of that bullshit you were told in school, right? But that's a different topic for a different day. So you brought motherfuckers here and you breed them. First round, knew they wasn't slaves. Second round, born slaves. Third, fourth generation, born into slavery, bred as slaves. Their grandmama a slave, their mama a slave, they a slave. If you're born a slave and you look around and you see everybody that look like you is a slave, then for most of you, nothing's wrong with slavery. It's normal. It's normal. Then somebody hands you a book and tells you God says, be a good slave, obey your masters, right? Slaves, obey your masters. Be a good slave. There's no context outside of your reality that says there's something wrong here. Everything around you says you're a slave. This is your place. Be a good slave. Pick the most cotton. Go out there, work hard. And your righteousness and value comes from the obedience and the hard work. The harder you work, the better of a person you are. The more obedient you are, the more righteous you are. God will shine upon you. This is what you learn from birth. You see that picture I showed you earlier? The kid on the floor, letting a girl stand on him to drink water. Now, we look back at slavery like, oh, shit, I would never be that. If I was around in the slave days, I would have revolted. Well, a lot of niggas did revolt. A lot of black men did revolt, right? Again and again and again. And they were the minority. Most slaves did not revolt. right? So when Kanye said what he said, a lot of people got offended. And a lot of y'all don't like Kanye. And I was supposed to speak about Kanye in the beginning of this, but y'all know the story. But understand this, whether you want to agree or not, that at one time slavery was a choice or not. And I don't think that, with a gun on you, you have much choice. So no, I don't agree with Kanye in the chattel slavery context, even though some men chose to revolt and they died for their choice, right? Some died on the ship. They chose to revolt. I'm not going to put a man down for not wanting to die. But in 2022, slavery is definitely a choice. In 2022, slavery is definitely a choice. Now, we can disagree with Kanye, maybe a little misguided, right? But in this given time, slavery is definitely a choice. And I don't mean in the context of race. I mean in the context of our culture. I mean in the context of our women. Understand, we have generations and generations and generations of Black men that are born into this idea that the Black woman is God. Generations. You look in other patriarchies and other cultures, it's not a belief of theirs. It's not. It's unique to this. Understand, because we grew up most of the time with men removed, whether the state removed them or the women themselves removed them, they were removed. Let's not do a history lesson. We know how we got here. So herein, we have a problem. We know how the problem, was created, but we're here nonetheless, right? And now what we have done is we have bred in our culture generations of male slaves to the gynocracy and the patriarchy. But Marcus, what are you talking about? Right? I was just discussing this with the counselor yesterday. He doesn't agree with me. Shout out to BGS because he posted something yesterday. And I don't want to bring nobody else into my bullshit, right? But BGS posted yesterday proof of the gynocracy, the whole Monahan thing, everything. Understand, brothers, when you react to, like the incident, and we're gonna talk about Tommy Sotomayor on Fresh and Fit, right? We're gonna talk about other instances where you see a woman being aggressive to a man and nobody's tripping until that man responds. And we have this idea that these men are never to be aggressive towards these women. We have to remain stoic, non-aggressive, non-violent, whatever, even while disrespect and aggression and violence is being thrown at us, right? When we talk about master versus slave morality, and morality is pretty much a bunch of ideas of what's righteous and what's not, what's right and wrong. And morality is a point of view. It's a point of view. People are, morality is well, you might think, well, you might not want to do nothing to your fellow man. And that might be right, but it depends on the context, right? Understand, morality is it shifts depending on where you are, depending on the culture you live in. They have different ideas of what's right and wrong. I said that earlier. And you were given your morality. People don't want to believe it because we all tend to think that, you know, we think independently of the culture. None of us do. I want the gentleman in here watching this video and hearing me talk to understand that although we have a lot of non-popular ideas, every once in a while, our stormtrooper training knee-jerk reaction. The amount of guys that I've seen react to Tommy Sotomayor and that female on Fresh and Fit, the amount of guys that I've seen react to that, and they spent more time talking about his behavior than hers. Tommy been Tommy. Tommy ain't never been different. You understand what I'm saying? Tommy is Tommy. I don't have a problem. I watched the video. I watched the whole shit. Not just a little clip. Watched the whole shit. And trust me, if Marcus was on Fresh and Fit and that was me, it would have been the same deal or worse. And people who know me in real life know I'm not playing a character on the internet. They know me, right? They know me. And I do not play that shit. Okay? Understand, you have been taught your morality, so you still, it's dormant that you react. Oh, why he doing that? Why Kanye doing so much? Why is he shoulda, he shouldn't have, he shoulda, he shouldn't have. He should work harder, fight harder to be a father. He shouldn't have did this. Is always a judgment on his behavior in response to aggression and disrespect. But that's just a part of it, right? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see people up in the room. Micah the comedian, I see you. Understand your morality, which is sacrifice your interests for someone else's. Master morality is this. Master morality is what is righteous benefits you. I'm going to say that again. Master morality means what is righteous to you benefits you. If men are working in a collective, they're only doing so because all the men in the collective benefit. If you have 8 guys and 7 of them benefit, 1 of them should walk away. That is master morality. So let me explain to you slave morality, which is what we're dealing with. If your system of right and wrong benefits anyone but you are practicing slave morality. I don't give a fuck who it is. If your system of values benefits anyone other than you, I don't care who the fuck it is. All right? Because a master, he might benefit other people, but he always benefits himself. Always. Always. All of the time. Okay? If what you do, if what your belief system is turn the other cheek, love thy enemy, any of that bullshit, either one, Jay, either one. It should benefit you. Sometimes it benefits others. It's great if it benefits others. What's in it for me? What do I get out the deal? You know what slaves do? They derive pleasure, right, from receiving nothing. And the other party or parties benefit everything. That's what slaves do. They derive pleasure from, I picked the most cotton for massa. You know what else slaves say? Oh, it's my duty as a man. And we're going to talk that phrase, as a man. Oh, we're going to use that a lot tonight. You're going to hear as a man a lot tonight. As a man, if anything that follows that phrase does not benefit you, you're a slave. You might not like it. You might unfollow me, unsubscribe, click dislike. But if anything that follows as a man is not serving you, whether it's directly by proxy or, you know, in conjunction, if you're not on the list of people that benefit, think about the you know, black people that are Democrats, liberals, and how we fight for, you know, what is it, the dreamers and all of this other shit, and that shit never comes back. Think about how we approach politics. We fight everybody else's struggle. They don't fight our struggle. It should be a part of the deal that if you don't fight for me, I don't fight for you. I don't give a fuck who it is. It could be members of your own group. It could be your women. If you don't fight for me, I will not fight for you. Because there are groups within groups. You understand what I'm saying? If you are not part of the group that is benefiting, you're a slave. Slaves didn't get a cut of the plantation. Slaves didn't get a cut of the cotton. The South got really, really, really rich, right? Tell me what part the slaves got. You should derive pleasure from serving your woman and asking for nothing. I get guys that tell me shit like this all the time. All the time. Now, Jay is bigger than politics. It is our religion to be slaves. We have a slave morality because morality is connected for a lot of people to religion, and our religion is slavery. To serve, to work until you die for the improvement, the progress, and the upward mobility of other motherfuckers. Of other people. Now, does this mean you don't support your people in this? Yeah, but there's a condition. There's a condition. You must reciprocate something, some value. I demand it or fuck out of here. That is master morality. If I don't get nothing from the exchange, if I'm just, oh, I'm just happy to serve, that is slave mentality. That is slave morality. You are practicing slave religion. And I don't give a fuck what you call your religion. You can call it Christianity, you can call it whatever. That is slave morality. So this is one example. The religion is to serve and gain acceptance from white people. I don't care if it's not white people. I don't care if it's black women. I don't care who it is. If you do not derive a benefit, And in your mind, you are righteous from not deriving a benefit from white folks, white men, white women, your woman, regardless of what color that woman is. I want black men to learn master morality. Master morality is about strength. You hear what these girls say? I'm strong and I'm independent. As black men, your woman practices master morality. They don't give a fuck what you benefit. Black women are the new slave master. Let's stop for a second. I want that to sink in. Black women are giving you, your black mama or black auntie or whatever, whoever took that picture of that little girl standing on that little boy, they are giving you your morality. Who made these rules? Right? I always ask that. Who made these rules? Right? Yes, absolutely. Plantation overseer. Absolutely. I bumped it up to slave master. I've been saying overseer all week. I was speaking to Shane and different people. I was like, black women, new overseer. I go further. They the overseer and in some cases, master. They are feeding you your morality. That is why, even with, whether you're talking about Ye or whoever, the reduction of the involvement of fathers that we're seeing in this current culture is important for that to manifest. Understand, this is not accidental. The reduction of paternal involvement is important for this because, you can't have the influence. You can't breed a slave, right? When I posted that picture on YouTube, a bunch of dudes reacted like, yo, I would never let no little girl stand on my son. Pa, 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 pa. I understand that. I guarantee you that the man didn't take that picture. It's a very small chance. It's not impossible because we got a lot of, stormtroopers. But I would bet that a man did not take that photo. But we are practicing slave morality, and we are moving, with these slave religious beliefs. Now, there's a group of people whose name I won't mention, because Whoopi just got in trouble fucking with him, right? There's a group of people, and we know what these people are called. Don't type it in the chat unless you're going to spell it funny or some shit, right? Understand, there's a group of people that their religion says, if you ain't one of us, we don't fuck with you. You can't make money with us. You can't eat with us. You can't sit with us. And the only time we fuck with you is if we benefit. Not only that, we got to have the biggest slice of the pie. That's what they're taught from young. They learn that as kids. They grow up and they practice this shit. And look how it's working for them. Now, at some point in human history, somebody said, yo, fuck that. This shit got to stop. I'm not going to say who they are either. We know history, right? But it took that. But understand, once that person was pushed out of the way, that morality, that master morality was allowed to flourish and take over the world. They run the world. because they have master morality. They're not waiting for somebody to save them. They're not, none of that bullshit. They only fuck with each other. You're out. There are sections in Brooklyn you can't buy property in because they own it. And you'll never get that property. And the government ain't coming to get it. Right? It's time for black men, because black women, even though their, church attendance is heavier than ours, understand they practice master morality. The K's, the triple K's are Christian, but they practice master morality. I appreciate you, Rob. Understand. It's time for us to adopt a different way of thinking, a different definition of righteousness that has more to do with self-interest, because everyone is self-interested but us. We're still here to serve. What can I get you, Mr. Charlie? What can I get you? What can I get you? All you need is some gloves and a towel. I'm gonna ask you again. Who do you serve? You serve you? Your belief system, who does it benefit? If the name is longer than 2 letters, you're a slave. If the name of the person you serve is longer than 2 letters, you're a slave. Understand, I said serve. Now, let me cover something else. All right? Glad I didn't forget this. And this is something, I plan to say here, but 50 said it recently. I don't have the clip, but listen here. Black man, you are not obligated to anyone. Nobody is obligated to you. You don't know nobody's shit, and nobody owe you shit. Yeah, but reparations, let's put that aside for a second. All right, because we live in a world that doesn't give a fuck. There's winners and losers, right? So let's come in. A lot of motherfuckers ain't gonna feel me for this shit. I'm telling you. This is raw, uncut shit. Right? Raw, uncut shit. Understand. There's no such thing as an obligation, not an inherent one. The only obligations that exist are agreements and understandings. If I agree to something, or we have an understanding, there's no obligations. This is the jungle, right? You get what you take. That's what you get. What you take. Most of the people you see successful, they took some shit. All right? Or they were given some shit by the takers, because maybe they belong to the group of the takers, or they have some sort of understanding, an agreement with the takers. Black women have an agreement and an understanding with the takers. That's why that meme I showed you earlier, that screenshot, we need to separate ourselves so we can continue to benefit from the takers. You are not obligated to black women with your, whether it be your resources or your genetic material, or your dick, or your presence. You are not obligated to anyone. Race is a social construct, right? I think all of us will agree with that. We talk about this shit to death, but then we don't think about it when I get motherfuckers talking about, well, we got to preserve the race, and you can't have, your boy, I ain't gonna say his name again. He said, the only way to get a child that looks like you is with a black woman. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a genetic lie. SYSBM is a selfish concept, and that is a positive. Okay? So Hybrid Ninja Perspective says, serve yourself and your loyal brothers. Understand, loyalty, that's the condition. There are terms and conditions. Right? There's terms and conditions. And that is a condition, meaning, hey, if that motherfucker ain't loyal, we ain't serving him. Okay. There's terms and conditions. Loyalty means you are going to reciprocate the energy. It's not a request. It's not a hope. It's not a prayer. It's demand. It's required. It's mandatory. Mandatory. Okay? This is master morality. Anything that doesn't benefit you is wrong. We could benefit other people. We could benefit the collective. But if you must be part of the collective being benefited, or you don't operate. Now, everybody knows Briffault's law. And for those who don't know Briffault's law, I'm going to say it to you. Okay? Briffault's law is pretty much the female in the animal kingdom, the female's association with the male. All right? It only exists if there's a benefit. Where there's no benefit, there is no association. Now I could pull it up off Google for you, or you can Google it yourself. Briffault's law in the animal kingdom. If y'all think humans aren't part of the animal kingdom, I got some shit to tell you. Where there is no benefit for the female, no relationship or no association will exist. You guys are approaching women altruistically. Uncle D told me, well, if you just be a man, be an upstanding gentleman, and provide, your woman will follow you. Really? Is that how it works? Is that all we had to do? Is that easy? Damn, we've been fucking up all this time. We ain't been providing and protecting, right? Shane, understand, we will discuss it when I bring you in, but understand, right? No, they gravitate to their self-interest. They're just not smart about it. They gravitate to what they think they want and what they think will benefit them. They're not calculating, all right? But just understand. Just understand, slave way to see it. I'll just give more. You're trying to fix bad behavior with more good shit. I don't know a parent ever, right, that got success out of rewarding their bad child with more gifts and that changed their child's behavior into good behavior. Okay, so yeah, again, and I don't think I've emphasized this. You are not obligated to anyone. There are no such obligations. The only obligations there are, if I give you $5 and you agree to pay me back, and we have an understanding that you're to pay me back, or if I ask you for $5 and you say, "Oh, I'll give you $5," and we have an understanding that you're going to give me $5, I expect $5, even though I have not given you $5 to return to me. You said, we agreed. It's an understanding. It's your word. Word is bond. And who's here from New York? Who's here from New York and understand word is bond? That's just not some shit in a rap song. Word is bond is real. We real about that shit in New York. My word is my bond. Word is bond. That's an obligation. I give you a brick, you flip this brick and bring me back my money. That's an obligation. And if you fail to act on that obligation, it might be some shit. We also understand in this culture, women don't have any obligations to you. That's master morality. They're telling you, I'm not obligated to you. You're obligated to me. I do what the fuck I want. I suck whoever dick I want. I marry who I want. I'm not beholden to you, but you do what the fuck I say. You date who I want you to date. You marry who I want you to marry. Your money is mine. If you're not successful, I don't want you. But the minute you become successful, you belong to me. That's a master. That's a master. Not giving a fuck about how you feel about it. That is a master. Masters think this way. I said it to you in the other morality video. Don't worry about the other side of the other side of the deal, the other part of the negotiation. You worry about your side. That's it. Your side is the only side that matters. The more value you bring, the more in your favor the shit will go. It's not what you deserve, it's what you negotiate. DJ Khaled said, bitch, I ain't eating your pussy. Bitches are like, oh my God. He said he ain't eating pussy. Well, you go back to the hood and get your pussy ate in the projects. But if you want to live here, South Beach or wherever the fuck Khaled live at, in here, this house that I bust my ass and paid for, I don't need pussy. You get another bitch to do it for you. That's a master. That is master morality. I'm not obligated to shit. You're not obligated to shit. It's like Kevin Samuels say, the only thing that keeps us respectful is the low level of violence, threat of violence between men. Won't start none, won't be none, right? Now, we can work together for the common goal, right? Just the greater good, the greater meaning the group. Not some ambiguous, like, pie in the sky goal. No, for the group. We get together and we work, and then together we benefit. I benefit, you benefit, we all benefit. Greater good ain't, oh, I help you and you benefit, and I'm just over here looking like a fucking dickhead. Right? Right? You want your pussy ate? I need my dick sucked. Same time, nigga, same time. Right? Master morality. Stop sacrificing yourself, your time, your energy, all that shit. Word is bond. That's what it means. A lot of people from outside of the town don't understand a lot of our slang. It's not just, just random shit. It's mean shit. Word is bond, nigga. My word is my bond. What's up, son? They call me son because I shine like one. Son, not as in my son. I'm his dad, but S-U-N. That's some, some what do you call it? Gods and the earth shit, right? Right. So that's what I'm talking about, right? Understand, master. Master morality dictates you are to benefit. You are self-interested, or you're not interested, or you're not interested. So, Shane, I'm gonna bring you in, man. And we're gonna discuss this, and then we're gonna do a panel. But I just want people to understand that you're either interested or not interested. That is the art of negotiation, right? If y'all out here giving, and y'all ain't getting back, y'all doing it wrong, man. And it's because we were taught this way. I don't fault black men because we grew up in this culture. We were raised like this. Nigga be like, who raised you? Who raised these niggas, right? We know who raised these niggas. So anybody that got a comment about how black men are and their conduct, who raised these niggas? Who raised you? That's TK Kirkland, right? Who raised you? We know who raised you. And whatever the circumstances of your father being absent, or even if he was there, because we got a lot of men who grew up gynocratic with their fathers in the house because who raised them? Who raised them? You were taught to be a slave. You were taught that it's good to give everything and expect nothing. You were taught that's good and it makes you a better person. That is indicative of morality. And it's a religion. So I'm gonna bring my man Shane up in this motherfucker. All right. Shane, was good.
What's going on?
So let's talk about this slave versus master morality. Now, you understand what I mean as far as when you breed slaves, the first round of Africans did not know where they were slaves. They didn't know they were slaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So before you go, let me read some comments. I'm almost forgetting I ain't read comments. Very good analysis. Black women never reciprocated any good to black men, even though black men were proven the best they could. I say this to say Dennis Sperling is disingenuous. I want to be careful not to make this a Dennis bash fest, right? I also want to say this. Dennis Sperling sometimes has some good things to say, man, but he fumbles the ball, man. And again, I don't want to turn this into I want to kind of move away from that, right? Because for those who know me, I always say, man, a lot of our movements always thwarted by differences of opinion and an inability to disagree in a civil manner. I did go at him because he went at me because he disrespected. So unless he responds, I don't want to carry it too far, but I will reference him because, some of the shit is relevant. So let's see what the guys have to say, Shane. All right.
All right.
So, what is it? Her spelling indicates she's not American. Not that it matters. I guess that's in relation to the Twitter post. All right. So, like you want to not be protected and run to the arms of who you need protection from. Yeah. And for some strange reason, they like to side with women who do not live in the same value system as they do. We seen the picture of the woman sitting on the black woman laying on the ground. You seen it, right? Like she's a chair, right?
That's an old picture too.
Yeah, it's an old picture. She got some flack for that. They let us abandon them, stop dealing with black women. Okay, so black women don't think that they're black people, just women. Oh, well, they think they are black people and we're some other shit.
Yeah, they definitely set themselves separate from us. I mean, you've seen it how when Ice Cube was talking about the that contract with Black America and
Yeah,
how they just completely just shit all over them.
yeah,
Yeah, they don't think they're part of us. They think they're their own entity.
yeah. So I have a video on TikTok of a black woman bragging that black men voting doesn't mean shit. It's them who push the party along. When I remember, I think it was I think was it 80% of black men that voted Democratic in the last election. 80%. So even with all of us guys who feel like oh, we're off the plantation, we're the minority still. That may change in some years, but today that's what it is. So she admits they put that OC now fuck in the White House. Yo, Chris, man, you wildin'. I need some likes, man. Please, let me. Hey, look, hey, masters, can y'all give me some likes on the video, please? This it's free. Just click the thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? This is my Shane. This time my time to beg. Look. Can I please have some thumbs up on the video? I got 45 people in here, 6 likes. 6 likes. Come on, man. Please, my niggas. Look, I got the cup. Where the cup at? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need some likes on the video.
Offering plate on screen.
Can I please have some likes? Please. So anyway, we go on with this say drug addicts walking around with their pinkies out. Let me see. I am in the Bay, and this has been policy for years. It doesn't work. You just have homeless addicts everywhere. Okay, he's talking about the Biden initiative, right?
Yeah, I could believe that. Last time I was on the West Coast, there was a dude straight up sleeping on the sidewalk. I'm like, man,
they got tents, man. Skid Row, baby.
No, this dude didn't have nothing. He was just on a bare pavement, face down, unconscious. And people was just walking right by him. I'm like, golly.
Hey, man, what can you do? You gonna offer that motherfucking place to stay? Hey, man, you stay in my crib? Jay Boo, that's a fact. It's built to protect women. Patriarchy and gynocentric chivalry go hand in hand. Absolutely. There's no feminism without patriarchy. If that was the case, you'd have a female country. People talking about the island of Lesbos. Yeah, okay. Where is that? All right, the fuck out of here. So we talked about Tommy. Tommy will come up again. I'm skipping through these comments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll definitely cover Tommy.
So keep it 100. The religion is to serve and gain acceptance from white people. I think I covered that one. But yeah, black male slavery is bigger than white people. We serve everybody. We do nothing to the benefit of our group. We fight over the dumbest shit, like serving women. And so black male suicide rates going up. Health is wealth, gentlemen. Walk away from one-way obligations. This is Jay Clark. I gotta make Jay Clark a motherfucking moderator, man. We'll give you a wrench, Jay Clark, man. Shit. Okay, so Aaron Smith, they have conditioned us to be white knights to our women and community, but get nothing in return for that. But our women are substantially subsidized. This is a very bad deal. Understand, I don't want to leave out that this, overseer / plantation, shit that black women are doing is enforced and powered by white supremacy. We know this. So I don't want to leave that out. So guys can be like, yeah, but they can only do it because, yeah, we know. And I'll have guys say, and remember what is it, Sir Pookie from last night?
Yeah.
He'll say, well, but the way to stop this is to change the system. Motherfucker, the system ain't yours to change. It's not yours to change. So you got, the cops come pick us up, Shane. And they got you in the interrogation room, and they got, me in the interrogation room, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both committed the crime together. So I'm in my room, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't gonna say shit, right? The motherfucker say, hey, look, man, you gonna face life. We gonna put you in jail for life, nigga. Life. Right? So I'm like, all right, Shane pulled the trigger. Now you in your room, you talking to the cops, you like, fuck y'all, we ain't do shit. I don't know shit. I don't know shit. We ain't do shit. Fuck you, suck my dick. Nigga, let me go. Lawyer, 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 lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
When you find out that I said Shane pulled the trigger, you gonna say it's these cops corrupted my boy to tell on me, or you gonna call me a snitch?
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's facts. You drop dime, you a snitch.
You a snitch. You a sellout. You sold out. You told, nigga. My man said, "Oh, the women are being backed by white supremacy, so it's the system that we gotta deal with."
He didn't want to hold the woman accountable.
You want to deal with the police and not the snitch. White supremacy is doing its job. They doing their job, motherfucker. So a slave, which means being alienated, i.e. a stranger to yourself, and since a man is a stranger to himself, he would never be able to see himself as important to other people's black women. He puts on a pedestal. That kid that's on the floor letting that black girl step on him to get a drink thinks he's a good man for doing so.
A lot of black men from childhood are indoctrinated not to have any self-esteem.
But their self-esteem is derived from what they do for women. You see this, oh, I'm a protector and a provider, and I support this many women, and I give my wife this, or my woman this, or my girl that. I take women on $300 first dates, or $400 first dates, or $1,000 first dates. I trick. I see a bit what Future say. I see beautiful women, and I just give them money, because they beautiful. SYSBM is my religion. Right? So let's skip through some more. We almost at the end of these comments. He said SYS is a necessary step. What I want is a new community built for us, by us, controlled, owned, and influenced by us. Jay, I wish it could happen. We gotta let go of these petty disagreements. Even the guys who understand what I'm saying right now, we can understand and we can agree, right? Master morality, slave morality, the black woman, this and all that shit. We agree on all that shit, but then you still got motherfuckers who will go back and forth with you about the stupidest shit. Look at this space, man, that we're in. The space that we're in, you got a lot of dudes going at each other's heads for the small. Yo, listen, we don't even have to disagree. We don't have to agree with what everyone is saying. Just have to be respectful, man. We get too emotional, and again, that's because we are raised by these women. You said it earlier, Shane, right? And I agree with that. My thing about, because you mentioned we're gonna get into the Tommy thing in a second. We're talking about controlling and not being ruled by our emotions. I think that there's time and place. There's a time and place to react, and there's time and place to be reasonable and to be rational. Right?
Absolutely.
So let's go. Okay, so I got your comment here, but I think we addressed that. So the truth is that black men as a whole never stopped providing, but women still left. That's facts. And now, as a result, the provider male is dead. There's nothing that you can provide that's going to compete with the state. I don't care. And the guys who are providing are going through it still. You're telling me a billionaire right now is fighting to see his children or fighting to be a dad. And I had a girl say he's fighting to be a husband. That may even be true, but he can't see his kids. Right? So cost benefit analysis, like that type of talk. Listen to all the old school music. It was mostly about providing men begging women to stay. That's been the culture. That's been the culture. Lopsided sexual marketplace. Mm-hmm. My man said, eating pushes for suckers.
Damn.
Hey, yo, it ain't for everybody, right? All right. Very good analysis. Black women never reciprocated any good, right? I read this earlier and said, who raised you? We know who raised them. All right. Peace, brothers. I'm heading to catch replay. Or is this live right now? Let me see. Heading to work, catch the replay. Okay, no doubt, Lamont. I appreciate that. Go where you're appreciated, black men, not tolerated. Be sure it's reciprocated. Make sure it's reciprocated. Demand it. I don't care if it's fully transactional. Trump is married to a woman who's obviously not in love with him, but they have an understanding. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying it's just not off the table. Understand that, whatever their understanding is, it's there, right? So they place gender over race. I figured that out before I even knew what the manosphere was. Same here. And the DNC has helped give black women their own separate classification. This is now standard, gentlemen. Yeah. We're trying to buy our women back from the government. That's what we're trying to do. All the tricking in the world. Listen, that's like motherfuckers going to tell me, and this is a different conversation, going to war with Pookie or whatever revolution motherfuckers want to come at. You ain't got, your guns ain't big enough, right? So you ain't beating the government in benefits, right? You ain't doing it. You look at Africa, black women in Africa running with the Chinese, right? Black women don't see themselves as black people that are women. They see themselves as women who unfortunately happen to be black. Oh my God, Cortez. This guy always comes with some shit. All right. Oh shit, Chaos Rain. I don't know if he's still in the room, but I see you, bro. Chaos Rain, what's good? Keep it 100. Chaos Rain, what's good, man? Right? So, facts. White supremacy is doing what it's designed for. Everybody tripping about, oh my God, this is sad. It's sad when racism happens. It's sad what happens to black men and white supremacy. Oh my God. No, it's doing its job. It's doing its job. Do yours. Speaking of future, Atlanta culture is like that. Those are the biggest tricks you can imagine. Listen, making it rain comes from Atlanta. It's random, huh? Yeah, just got to give my money away. No lap dance, didn't get to feel a titty, nothing. I'm just dumping a bucket of money on a bitch. I can't do it, man. I need something for my bread because I did something to get it. Cortez Smith, remember Babyface used to write these songs begging. Remember Whip Appeal? Oh, that motherfucker built a career. What'd you say, Shane?
I said being a man in general is a thankless job. Why like put in the effort to make yourself even more devalued?
I demand thanks. And I mean, eating pee is for suckers according to the women. Oh, okay. That's why they typically don't respect those men. They see it as a submission. That's new to me. I'm not saying I'll be eating bitches' pussy. I'm just saying the sentiment is new to me. Shout out to my man. Oh, my man, I gotta show this cup in this shit here. It says 95 kilos on it. Right? That's my man Glenn. He's on YouTube. I'm gonna post one of his videos in the community tab so y'all can know who the fuck he is. But that's my boy. That motherfucker's deep as shit. Right? So only black men are capable to hand black women a gun, then say, please don't shoot me, just to be accepted by their master. That's kind of what black women do with thug niggas, right? Be crazy, be a killer, but don't kill me. And one more, to entice the builders, we will need more than race loyalty and nostalgia as the selling point to keep them in the community. Understand, race is a social construct. They will say it. Race is, they'll say race is a social construct when it benefits them, but then they'll throw race in your face for loyalty and fealty, right? Fealty. It is that far. Pledge your fealty, right? Like John Wick or some shit, right? Shane, talk to me, man. I've been running my mouth.
Where we gonna start? You covered a mouthful. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Tommy thing.
So okay, so let's get back to the Tommy thing. So it was a bunch of men who seen the Tommy Sotomayor. I don't know how many of you guys saw that video. Part of me wants to play it here. Okay, part of me wants to play it here, but pretty much, Tommy was on this the Fresh and Fit podcast, and he had a back and forth with what's the girl's? Do we know her name?
I don't remember her name, but I guess she's an OnlyFans model.
Fuck her name. So boom. She asks him a couple questions like, "Oh, why are you coming down on black women, this, and that, and the other?" So he pretty much answers her question like pretty much like, "Listen, because while he's trying to answer her question, she keeps talking over him, which is I find annoying. I find annoying when it happens to me, and I find annoying when I listen to conversations where, motherfucker, you ask the question, get the answer, right?" And she tries to answer him. He tries to answer her, and she continues to interrupt him.
Mm-hmm.
She continues to interrupt him, and all of those interruptions were pretty much, "Oh, you coming down on black women, but you black, and how you gonna be putting down other black people and this and that and the other?" And he made some pretty good points. He said, "Why is your reaction, that I can't say nothing because I'm black and you black, so therefore I can't say nothing. But if I say something positive about you, you ain't gonna stop me from doing that." It's just like when girls say, "Well, not all black women." See, if I say black women are queens, nobody's going to respond to me and say, "Not all black women." Right. Shout out, Snapback Hut. That's little bro. Answer your phone, nigga. Seven Aurelius. That's my brother, the snapbackhut.com. Right? Oh, yeah, you a fan of Tommy. We talking about your boy, right?
Yeah. I mean,
my brother's a fan. I'm talking about my brother, Shane. My brother's a big fan of Tommy Sotomayor. Y'all think I'm bad. Shit. My little brother, he said video is icy. My little brother. But yeah, so I want to say this, and then because I know you got something to say. So basically, what eventually happened is the conversation escalates. They're going back and forth, right? So they had their initial disagreement. He answered her question, and then she starts getting crazy. She goes disrespectful on him. She going insulting him and this and that, right? So he responds to that. And we know how Tommy do. You talk to Tommy crazy, Tommy gonna talk crazy back to you. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Motherfucking bitch. Fucking bitch. Suck my dick, bitch. Motherfucking bitch. On some Kevin Hart teacher shit, right? Green Gorilla, what up? What's up? Yo, I'm gonna pull it. I don't know what you're doing. Matter of fact, I think you going live later, man. Damn, I gotta pull him in at some point, man. If you could get in here for a few minutes, let me know. But yo, eventually the shit gets loud, and she hits him, and then he hits her back. Talk to me, Shane.
Well, we discussed this earlier, and I was looking at it. I was trying to be as concise with my opinion as possible, and my opinions mostly revolved around just the conversation itself, because he opened the conversation by saying, he's basically an expert in debating and stuff like that, and when he made his point, about, to answer the girl's question about why he talks about the things that he talks about, he gave a very thorough and clear answer. And in just my opinion, I felt like he won because she didn't really have a leg to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, she kept drilling him with the same question over again. And I thought that she was just pushing his buttons at that point. And just look, going off of like past interactions that he's had with multiple people, it was just my understanding that people push his buttons and he jumped. But oh, my bad. Hang on.
Yes, K-Mac, I am flexing.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I just had the opinion that, hey, Tommy, you made your point. You ain't gotta, let this chick push your buttons and because it's beneath you. But like you said, it's Tommy. He went there with her. It escalated, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Now, I mean, you'll hear other people's responses on other platforms saying that he's kind of feminine or whatever. But I was more concerned about just the conversation, as far as the physical element and people getting out of character. When people get insulted, and I know you understand this too, you can't really control people's reaction to disrespect.
No, you can't. No, you
People
can't.
are going to react in different ways, and I believe that to be true. Like one person you could tell something disrespectful to, and they'll just laugh at you because they figured I don't need to go there. Where other people, you say something disrespectful, they'll pull out a gun. You can't control people's reactions. But just going off of just my opinion of just the conversation, I'm being real clear about that. I think that it was an easy win for him. And then after that, as soon as his buttons got pushed, he just made a conscious decision to do what he did. Not saying it's right or wrong. Everybody's got their own opinion. But yeah, he seems to allow people to, no matter who it is, to push his buttons.
See, this is the thing, man. I believe in matching energy. Right? We discussed this earlier.
Right.
I believe in matching energy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
See, oh man, see, he just validated me, right? Hey, read it. Read what he say.
It wouldn't be Tommy if it didn't happen. Yeah, and I said that.
What did I say? What did I say? I said those exact words. I said, yo, if Tommy didn't react the way he did, I'd be mad that he didn't do it. That's what I said. Yo, at the end of the day, he said, I heard guys say that Tommy started it and she was defending himself from the big bad red pill man. No, she hit him first, right? She hit him first.
She did hit him first. You know what the funny part was? And this is what I noticed. The biggest button that she pushed is when she pulled out that hat trick talking about, well, you was trying to fuck me, and it's like, oh, now she's trying to embarrass him. This is not gonna go well for her. Okay,
so my points are invalid because I tried to get some pussy. Listen, that's the bag they always reach into. So
shaming tactics.
So we got the G with the PhD in the motherfucker. He about to say some eloquently disrespectful shit. What is your opinion on this shit, man? Hey, JJ. Know you there, brother. Shout out to BGS. I see you in the chat, man. A lot of y'all are here for BGS. BGS shared this shit earlier. Thank you for that. But yeah, he said Tommy is known to turn up. We know this. Tommy even said in the video, he said, this is what I talk about. You want sports, you go to ESPN. You don't go to ESPN expecting, I don't know, Lifetime. That's not what you're going to get. You're going to get sports. You can't come to ESPN complaining that you're not getting the Oprah channel. And because the Oprah channel would be better, it'll expand your viewership. No, it's ESPN. That's what the shit is for. So it's like what I said previously in another live. You got to be you everywhere you go. So he come to Fresh and Fit. He's going to be Tommy. I don't expect him to be anyone else but Tommy. Understand, if I should ever be so blessed as to sit with them ratchet bitches in that podcast, you will get me. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Okay? You will get me. I will not change. And, hey, man, you could have acted different than that. Bitch turn up on me at the Fresh and Fit shit. Oh, nigga.
Throw the drink in her face.
we gonna turn up the volume. We gonna get lit in that motherfucker.
Red cups and blow her weave off.
Yeah, man. I'm a mute GG for a second. Hey, G, when you ready, unmute yourself, man. But yeah, man, there's this idea, and again, this is going back to Black man stop being a slave. There's this idea that the standard of conduct changes based upon gender, right? I'm not saying you're saying that, but a lot of the reactions that I've seen from Black men, the stormtroopers, they are saying, well, he should have did this, and he shouldn't have did that, and he should have did this, and he could have been that. That's that, work harder or fight harder to be a father shit instead of telling the woman, this is the same logic they use for the R word, right? Oh, well, we shouldn't tell women not to blah, blah, blah. We should teach men not to blah, blah, blah. Right? That's what we that's what they tell us. Well, we should teach men not to, assault women instead of teaching women how to deal with assault. Well, assault gonna happen, right? But the standard for putting hands on a motherfucker is the standard. You saying no matter what a woman says, you are not to put hands on her. Well, same apply to me. You put hands on me, you're gonna get hands put on you. Right. And I don't even think that's the part that anybody is fuzzy on, at least anybody with common sense. But when it comes to how they conducted themselves in the conversation, I agree with you. What their first initial interaction, they addressed that. He was right. But then she went to disrespect. Once you cross over, I can follow you. There's no rule that says I can't follow you. And you might have people that say, well, he should not have, but it's Tommy. It's Tommy. And it's Marcus too. I will follow you to that motherfucker if I am in the mood to. The only I'm going to dictate, again, master morality. I'm the dictator of my conduct in a given situation. Sometimes I may not. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. And he rose his voice. She raised her voice. She put hands on, and he put hands on. But she raised her voice first. So he is under no obligation. There's that word again. To conduct himself in a manner different than how she's conducting herself towards him. Yeah. So yeah, my brother says he was being Tommy.
Yep, that's 100 right there.
So I just want to shout out the legendary Cleveland bus driver. She want to act like a man, then it is what it is.
That bus driver was patient too.
Yeah, he's a patient till he turned her into a patient. Right? So let's read some comments. He got attacked by his own strag. Oh, man. Wow.
That's facts.
What's the matter, Tommy? You can't control your bitches?
That's facts right there. and you know what? And this is my other opinion. And this is what got Tommy yoked up plenty of times. He'll talk shit about these chicks and then turn around and try to fuck them.
Listen, so I ain't mad. I'm not mad at that, right? I wouldn't do it, but I'm not mad at it. Understand, right? Understand, because we spoke about this earlier. There are things that I wouldn't do that I'm not mad at. It's not for me, but I'm not mad at it. Bay, you're an asshole. You going to the jails now? That's some color purple shit right there for your ass. She got mad and started throwing personal attacks because she felt offended on the things that Tommy Sotomayor was saying. Yeah, that's fine. But keep your hands to yourself, shorty. You talk all the shit you want. You get loud, I get loud. You see these? Once you bring hands into it, hands get brought. Right? The bus driver's swift uppercut still warms my heart. But yeah, that's what it is, man. I watched that video. I find no problem with what Tommy did. I'm gonna bring in Green Gorilla. Yo,
what up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I had to go get to my real hookup. I was on my laptop and shit. Couldn't get the audio to work right now.
Yeah, I see you. I see you. You came full force, man. What's going on, man? So right now, I want you to address a couple things. I want you to give me your opinion on, the topic that we're speaking on: black man stop being a slave morality, and master morality, and then also speak on. Did you see the Tommy Sotomayor shit?
I have not seen the Tommy Sotomayor joint. I have not. I want to see it. I watch Fresh and Fit sparingly, sporadically. Not because, I find any fault with what their content is about. But, to be quite honest, man, as a Black Manosphere member, I primarily watch other men when I watch Manosphere content. I don't typically tend to see the interactions between men and women, although, I think it's necessary. I'm more about communing with brothers and, having conversations with brothers, and not just, there are places to have conversations with women, though. I just,
I only watch it when it's an issue. Like it's always shit popping off on they shit, man. And motherfuckers send the shit to me. I don't just be to this day, I have not watched an entire Kevin Samuels live. I watched the clips, but I've never watched I've never seen Kev go live from beginning to end and watch his whole thing. And I fucks with Kevin Samuels, right? But Fresh and Fit, I have yet to watch any of their lives as they're live, and I've never watched a replay from beginning to end. I only if there's a highlight and say, "Hey, some shit happened," send me the link. I'll watch.
Well, I mean, come look, dude. You ever sat at a table, man, and it ain't nothing but women at the table. It's just a bunch of women talking, shit that women talk. Like what they like, what they don't like, what they, want, what they don't want. Various men and how the men were insufficient and all this kind of shit. Like I've been around those conversations on multiple occasions, and I feel like my life is a Fresh and Fit show. Like I'm I'm sitting around these women, man, and like I'm either listening or like absolutely filtering everything that they're saying off. Just cutting it off like a fucking compressor. Or, like I'm not even letting some shit through that doesn't hit a certain frequency or move past a threshold. It's like, okay, well, you say what now? I mean, because quite frankly, man, most of some of the shit that these women say, man, is so narcissistic, self-aggrandizing, so fucking, conceited that I'm like, man, are you fucking serious? That's why, like, it's hard for me to watch Kevin Samuels' show, man. Especially when, like, at the point where he was, fielding calls from women, and the women were like, well, I'm a fucking 7, but you told me not to say it, and yeah, I got 3 kids and I weigh 300 pounds, but I'm going to get that motherfucking dude that's making $250,000 plus, and that motherfucker going to worship the water worship the ground I walk on and drink my bath water.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, lady, come on now. And the funny shit about it is, okay, take for example, recently, Kevin Samuels got asked to be in a Future video and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you had like DJ Academics, man, like, well, I'm surprised that, like that this guy, only had, will have more than like only 15 minutes of fame, like he's really actually able to matriculate in other spaces. I think maybe he's going to still grow or whatever. I thought like he was going to begin to atrophy after, a certain peak that he reached or whatever. And so I'm like, motherfucker, you can say the same shit about yourself? Like, what kind of content do you have? What's the substance of your conversation? You talk about fucking trappers and rappers and shit for a living, So at any rate, but my whole thing is though, man, like the black manosphere is mainstream, man, and brothers got shit to say. And these women gonna have to deal with what we have to say at some point, man. I mean, they've been berating us and talking about what they want, what they like, what they need, what they feel they ought to, be able to receive. But at some point, there's got to be a fucking, a converse, a pushback, a different perspective than their own. And they need to be confronted with it. And right now, these women, man, have been taught that anything that is the converse of what they say is somehow misogynist, it's oppressive, it's dominating, it's controlling, it's, it's coming from a toxic place. And, that's why, I've always said, man, black men, you don't need permission to speak. I don't have to fucking ask you to have a contrary opinion than you. You understand? Like, I don't have to, make sure that I make your feelings okay while I'm saying what I'm saying. But women have this expectation, like, well, don't offend my sensibilities. Motherfucker, you say you want to be treated like an equal. If I'm sitting at a table with a guy, now I'm not going to be disrespectful to the guy just off the flip or the rip, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm going to say what I got to say. Like, man, come on, dog. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm sitting next to a lady, what I got to say? Well, excuse me, miss. Contrary to what your position is, I hold XYZ. Like I'm gonna be like, man, what you saying to me is some bullshit. Like I just don't agree with it, and here's why. Now we'll explain. It's not like I'm beyond being able to, express and explain. But I mean, like, why do I have to put on the gloves and shit? Like, I mean, you're a grown ass woman. You're a grown human being. So why do I have to? Look. Stop infantilizing these women. I don't give a fuck who they are. If they black, if they white, if they Latino, I'm not fucking coddling adults, man. I'm not going to treat them like fucking children. And right now, they have become accustomed to being treated like children are treated. It's the expectation that there's some sort of moral position that they occupy that means that they're above being critiqued. And I'm like, how the fuck can you be critical all day, every day? I mean, you're critical 25 hours out of a day, 8 days a week. But God damn it, if somebody says one thing that's critical of you, then all of a sudden, it's a big fat fucking fiasco. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, what? Come on now. That's bad faith. That's bad faith, man.
We could call it infantilizing, but I think it's deifying.
I think it's infantilizing because motherfuckers don't want to hurt them. It's like that emotional labor show that you and Tia San Johnson did, and most guys, I don't think most dudes like deify women as much as they deify being able to come. Like they deify being able to bust a nut, and I'm like, okay, dude, when you get over that, All right.
But see, this is the thing. A lot of guys bow down to women without the promise or the chance of doing exactly that. I mean, what you said earlier about their entitlement and things like that. Let's quote the Bible. I, God, am a jealous God, right?
Man, look.
What we say? We say the black woman is God, right?
Who says that?
Well, that's what some black men say.
Well, I mean, look, okay, but let's put it in the proper context, though. Okay, like if you got a black nationalist hotep type, and I don't have a problem with that position. Okay, like I understand it because I've studied Afrocentricism for fucking 30 years. Okay, I get it. All right. So if the black woman is God, then the black man is also God because there's a pantheon of gods. Like if there's a fucking Isis, then it's also a fucking Osiris.
I oppose the position, though.
I get it. I get it because
we're creating this with that.
I understand. Like I get it, but I don't believe like the black woman is God to the point where I can't sit. If my arms are not too short to box with God, put it that way.
But
if the black woman is God, we're screwed.
You say again?
If the black woman is God, then we're screwed. It's like,
I, God, am a jealous God.
Man, hey, bro, look. See, y'all playing too much.
I'll take a page from Tommy's book. He says if the black woman is the backbone of the black community, then the black community's got scoliosis.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's facts. Understand this, right? Black women have a God complex because they're told. Understand, right? In our society, you got to look at who's privileged and what and the behavior of privilege tends to manifest, right? You got police and other white people who think they can chase you down in the street and monitor you and and shoot you, and then when law enforcement comes or whatever governing body, they don't run, they don't hide, they tell those people, well, we did what we had to do, and they tell them the whole story. We see 3 guys that ain't never coming home because that's what they thought, master morality. They're in that pickup and they're chasing this guy down because they think it's something that they can do. They think it's something that they're entitled to do because they're above or better than the person that they're chasing.
But let me explain.
Black women, I just want to marry that to what it is with black women.
But okay, look, I'm gonna tell you what that is. All right, I've seen this. Like you're from Brooklyn, okay? I'm from Northside St. Louis, okay? If you are like, what's the role that Snoop Dogg played in the movie, man, where he was a snitch or some shit like that? I forget what it was, Huggy Bear or some shit like that. I don't know, like, but I mean,
Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch, right? If you got a get out of jail free card, and you got Poppy on speed dial, it's like being a little fucking girl. Like, I'm gonna get daddy on you. Yeah. You feel empowered. Because you feel like the hand of God, the right hand of God, ready to lay the smack down, because you got a certain level of accessibility that the other party does not.
This is true.
So that is the crux of why these motherfuckers think they God.
It's not just that, bro. Listen.
But wait a minute, though, Marcus. Let me finish my thought on this, though, right? Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Oh, yeah,
to where a motherfucker in the hood that's ratting feel like Alpo, like I'm out and about, motherfucker, you can't do shit to me. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm protected, you know what I'm saying? Like by Viper, better stand back, right? But at the end of the day, what these women are doing, man, that's what a fucking baby, a little girl does.
Listen to me. Understand.
That's what a little girl does. Like your sister, your little sister.
It's like I said in the top of the video. Outside of the enforcement arm, understand, right? They say you can take elephants, right, and you put the chain on them, and you have them, do whatever it is that you have them do with the chain on them, right? After a while, you can take the chain off, right? And they won't run away. Because now you have enslaved the mind and the mentality. This is what we are here talking about, the morality. We can talk about the state and their enforcement against guys like us who are resisting the training. See, we are red pill, right? You don't have to enforce people who are indoctrinated in their mentality is affected by the indoctrination. They're gonna do their program. They're gonna do what you program them to do. The only time you have to enforce something is when you have a malfunctioning agent, right? A neo, right? Understand what I'm saying, right? You
right,
don't
I
have,
get it.
Yeah. So understand, right? We're raising generations of guys who are programmed into this understanding that they are God, and they are treating these women as gods, and the women are believing it. Now, for you and me and Shane and everybody in the chat, if you got a problem with that, then we get the zaddies, you know what I'm saying, to come in and deal with you. Understand, we are at this moment in time, as we are making this video, we are the minority ideology. We are the outliers. I'm not saying we're this small, because I know BGS made a video. He said, we're not fringe. I absolutely agree with that. Right?
Yeah.
Understand, right? We are still outnumbered. Right? So what I'm saying is, you have a lot of guys who have adopted this teaching, adopted the culture. Any culture you go in, if you go to Saudi Arabia, most of the people are Islamic. A few aren't, but they don't outnumber the majority of the people who are born into a culture that is the prevailing culture, right? So in our culture, the prevailing thing is that you worship Black women. And you don't have to be forced to do it because you were taught to. And you do it willingly, and you do it proudly. You're a slave.
Here's the thing, right? I was, raised by a single mother, or whatever the case may be. And I think, to a certain extent, I understand, because, the chivalry shit, right? You're supposed to, open the doors and walk on the outside of the sidewalk, or, just various things you're supposed to do, in order to show that, somehow you have respect for womanhood, right? That kind of thing, right? But I mean, look, I grew up in the fucking early 90s, the late 80s. And in the 70s, man, we grew up listening to fucking Too Short, Snoop Dogg, Eazy-E, I might be a woman beater, but I'm not a pussy eater. I mean, we grew up in that era, sorry, that's the era we grew up in, don't clutch your pearls, dog. I mean, we grew up in that era where it's like, okay, we understand that y'all ladies, and there's a certain amount of things that we can't actually do with you like we can do with the homies, but don't get it twisted, shorty. You know what I'm saying? You ain't all that in the bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? You cool, you alright. But I mean, the deference, and I think that nowadays, man, guys have been guilt tripped. At the university level, they've been guilt tripped at the high school level, at the the elementary school level, to somehow coddle these chicks. But I think, these women, man, they play this role, man, this fainting couch role. Like, everything is all fucked up all the time, and that they're living in a dangerous, precarious world.
Yeah.
And people need to make sure that they are taken care of. I've always said, you can't at the same time argue that you are the strength, the pillar, but not be able to handle the weight. You can't be the undergirder of the structure, but not have the capacity to bear the weight.
Not logically.
You can't. If you can't handle the weight, that's why, like I don't know, man. I think the black community, man, is full of men who have bought into white womanhood, man. Like it's like white guys who protect, white women under the banner or the flag of, we got to protect y'all from these savage niggas or whatever the case may be. It's the same shit that black men have adopted, but, like this, we got to defer to the ladies, open the doors, do all this little nice little shit.
G.
And that's part of being a man. I mean, to certain guys. And they've been taught this.
Who raised these niggas?
Well, come on, bro. You already know. But, I mean, look. I was raised by a woman, too. And I didn't, like, my OG, man, she never told me, well, I'm a woman. You can't talk to me like, cause I used to tell my mama real shit. Especially, when I grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, OG, I'd be like, hey, mom. Right now, you're on some bullshit. And I could tell my own mother, like, that's some bullshit right there.
G, we are counterculture.
I just don't understand, guys, man. Well, okay, so this...
I do understand. We are counterculture. Culture dictates the prevailing ideology, behaviors, and things like that. We are counter, right? So you might not be able to relate. No, you understand that because you're a scholar. You can't relate to it. You can't relate to it because it's not what you do, because you are counterculture. I am counterculture. Everybody in this chat is counterculture, right? But the culture is the prevailing ideology, the prevailing belief system.
Well, here's what's tragic about black men trying to uphold.
Oh, it's definitely
the Victorian notion of womanhood, because all this shit is Victorian notions of womanhood, and white men did it for a reason. Okay, they said, okay, women are a better half. They're more virtuous than are we, and this was the reason that they kept them in the home. It was an excuse for trying to keep these women like outside of the public sphere. You're better than us. You're more morally virtuous than we are. We're rough and tough and all that stuff. You're sugar and spice and everything nice. We're snips and snails and puppy dog tails. You're flowers and pixie dust. Go make me a sandwich. Okay, it was a way for white men to basically relegate women to the domestic sphere in Europe during the Victorian era. Okay, so, but prior to that, there were different notions of womanhood and what women were supposed to be doing. But I mean, personally, me knowing the history of Victorian womanhood and understanding that, that's just an ideal about women as opposed to how women actually are. It's a moral notion embedded into European culture. Okay,
I don't protest that.
Now, but my whole thing is, white men did it for a reason. But you got black men not knowing the origin of the moral notion of the purity of womanhood, adopting and expressing it. And you got black women adopting and expressing it. And they not even knowing where the shit comes from.
I agree.
So it's just part of, us not having our own unique ways of understanding gender and the roles that certain, people are supposed to play predicated upon their sex. It's a factor of us not having our own shit and not having our own means by which, to identify the etiquette of how we supposed to behave towards one another. We just basically playing out Victorian womanhood with not even the benefits that come along with, traditional notions of masculinity and femininity. And look, black women should know better. Like these chicks should know better, dog. And I'm gonna tell you why. They got more degrees. They got more fucking understanding of history. They got more access to the books. You know, they understand where all this shit comes from. So don't ask me at the same time that you're trying to throw away notions of strict gender roles and shit like that. You want to surpass and overcome that, but at the same time, you want me to abide by the same shit?
You think it has to make sense. And let me explain this to you, right? I understand everything you said, right? You're saying they don't understand, and we just rolling with this and blah blah, all the things you said. And I don't protest none of it. Now I'm gonna ask you. Let me ask you this. We're in America, North America, where most people are Christian. Most Christians have not read the Bible cover to cover.
True indeed.
Most Christians do not know the origin story of the religion.
Oh, okay.
Most Christians don't know, how the Bible was put together, the Old Testament versus the New Testament. I know these things because I've been in these discussions about religion for a long time, and they don't know that. But guess what, G? They don't have to know. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense that a man can't live in a big fish. Religion doesn't have to make sense for believers. They believe because they were taught to. Feminism, black matriarchy, gynocracy, all this is religion. It doesn't have to make sense. We don't have to know the origin of it. We don't have to understand it. We could talk about Victorian, femininity and all that all day. That's the history lesson. What I'm saying is, today, there doesn't have to be an understanding of the etymology or any of that, or the origin of any of that. It's kind of irrelevant to people believing what they were taught to believe, right? When you have culture, most people in the culture don't even know why the culture practices it. Like, I'll mention something you said. You said men walking on the curbside, right?
Yeah.
Every time I ask a motherfucker or a woman, how did that tradition come to be? They got a different story for me. Every time I don't care to discuss that now. What I'm talking about tonight is mental slavery and slave morality. We understand how we got here, right? I guess Shane will be back with us in a second, right? I understand how we got here, but understand, right? These women can have that contradiction. They're not binding themselves to anything logical. It's a belief that doesn't have to make sense.
Well,
right?
shit, I can't roll with a motherfucking belief system.
No, I don't listen. That's why we're here. We're a counterculture.
Yeah, so
culture. No, I just
want to talk to the simps. You need to start the simp channel.
Listen, no, we ain't doing that. So just to finish this point, right? Etymology. Yeah, reason I was because I know etymology is like the origin of words and shit. But anyway,
yeah.
What I'm saying is, what guys like us who are, logical and rational have to understand about the irrational is feelings are not rational. They don't have to make sense, right? So yeah, a woman could say, hey, I want to be independent and blah, 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 but you got to protect me, right? Now you can't say that in a rational space. It's not going to wash, but you can say it. And guys who have grown up in this belief system, it doesn't have to make sense to them either. They just believe it because they were taught it. They grew up with it. Okay. Jesus walked on water. Niggas don't walk on water. Nobody turns, water to wine. Nobody feeds, millions of people with, 2 fish and a loaf of bread. Right.
Yeah,
nobody. Nobody parts the Red Sea. All of these fantastic things that we read about in religion are just that. They're beliefs. And when you talk to people like this doesn't make sense,
Oh damn! I guess
His
Marcus
camera.
Aurelius went off on his own show.
Yeah, his battery probably died again. I don't know.
Yeah, man. But look, man. I just we all been taught that there's a certain role that you're supposed to play in a relationship with women, or there's a certain way you're supposed to act towards your sister, your cousins, your mother, your aunties. You can't be as brash and as open and honest, for fear that, for some reason the sensibilities will be, they'll be offended and they can't handle it, and, they'll fall apart and unravel at the seams or some shit like that. But, I'm like, man, stop it, man.
I mean, what it comes down to is just this one-way aggression. You know what I mean? It's like,
and to me, that's just what kids do, man. It's like, okay, it's like, the kid who's 5 years old punching the shit out of the 8-year-old, and the 8-year-old finally being like, look, motherfucker, I'm tired of you punching me. And, they get a little, the 5-year-old gets a backhand or something like that. And then all of a sudden they start complaining about, well, he hurt me. Well, look, motherfucker, you've been punching this 8-year-old. You 5 years old, you've been punching the 8-year-old for the last 5-10 minutes. Now it's time for you to get all upset about getting hit back. And then, like that. But the point is, I get it, man. I just, I wish guys, like, in terms of the Tommy situation, I just don't understand what these women, man, like, what they expect. I mean, like, do you expect for men to walk around forever under the rubric of, I gotta treat you like a fucking marshmallow, not at the campfire site, but, like a bag where you gotta be treated, carefully, like a loaf of bread.
yes,
I gotta carry you. I gotta carry you like a loaf of bread.
it's an irrational expectation based on a belief system that they were taught from birth, and that's what we're discussing. Is they've been taught to be masters and we've been taught to be slaves. I mean, the same argument could be made for us about our willingness to try to win from losing, right? Because this is the culture we were born in, we grew up in, and we were taught by these people. Now, of course, again, when you have culture, you're going to have the prevailing group which believes what they were taught, and then you're going to have the outliers, the counterculture agents, and we are counterculture. We are Neo. You see, Agent Smith and the agents, right? Yeah. That is culture. That is the Matrix, and we base all this shit off that because we talk about red pill, blue pill, right? So understand, right, that we are counterculture. We are, in the real world, we are the blue pill guys. The red pill guys. We are the red pill guys. So
I like to think of it like this, Marcus. I'm Rakim. Like I'm here to take away the chains, remove the pains, reveal my name. It's like, look, I'm here to let people know, that you don't need permission to speak. You don't have to, treat these motherfuckers like flowers. And delicately, especially as it pertains to having moral arguments on a political stage or on a social stage. Like, I don't have time to fucking play games. Like, look, if you put me on a show with a woman and the woman is saying some shit that, like, is just, like, disrespectful as fuck, I'm gonna be like, lady, you being disrespectful, lady. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go back and forth with one of these motherfuckers. What's the point? Like, it makes for good TV because you see guys like shocked that a guy would say something that falls outside of the domain of chivalry. Like, right? But that's why academics was like, it's about bad mouthing women. But I'm like, okay, look, and I'm gonna do a show about this shit, right? Think about this. This Negro, man, the academics guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lives in an environment, he works in an environment where you got rappers just saying ignorant shit to women all day.
You want it to make sense,
I got bitches and I got bitches. The bitch gonna do this for me, bitch, and I fuck her and then I'm gone. I make her take a plan B. Like if you listen to the shit that half of these rappers are saying, right? Like Future, it's like, man, look, I ain't got time for bitches. I gotta keep my mind on my motherfucking riches. It's the same shit. But it's a different era, right? But the guys that do hip hop, man, constantly are talking about how I'm not deferring to the women. They're, objects to me for sexual conquest, and so on and so forth. And after I smash one, I dash one, whatever the case may be. All right. So that's par for the course. So how you're following the lies of guys that do this, but you're shocked that there are actually men in the public sphere who actually feel this way or have ideas about, like having autonomy and like doing what's best for themselves. Like, I mean, how like this is the shit that confuses me. It's like, hold on, wait a minute.
It's not confusing because it doesn't make sense. Understand. Like I said, religion, the Bible and all that, it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to. It's feelings. It's all based on bullshit, right? Bullshit. If you learned from your childhood something stupid, it will take a whole lot. So at the top of this show, I was talking about slavery. Let me ask you something, G. How many slaves do you think when somebody said, hey, man, let's get the fuck out of here? How many slaves you think were like, nigga, you crazy?
The vast majority of them was like, you crazy.
Vast majority. Because to them, this was normal. That's not the only reason, but it's one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So understand, nigga, you crazy. Right? Oh, nah, we got to get out of here. They are counterculture. Like, motherfucker, you want to stay here? You getting beat every day. We sweating. We out here. We watching motherfuckers get killed. Nigga, you crazy. I ain't running. So them simps that you're talking about, that's them. No, they are afraid. I be on Clubhouse. I remember one time I was on Clubhouse. Everybody's coming at me for having an opposing opinion. You know how many guys were hitting my back chat and my inbox like, yo, chill, because they are scared, bro, of being.
They said, yo, chill.
Not only are they gonna say they're not running, but they're gonna snitch.
They are afraid of being counter to culture. Understand, man. People are so, this, man. G, you're a doctor. You know that people they are social. We're social animals. We want to be part of whatever the belief is. You got people even in this Me Too era that disagree with what a lot of things being said. They're scared to say it out loud. That's why we're here, right? That's why we're here, because we don't give a fuck about the backlash. You got a lot of people that are afraid of the backlash because the for some people is serious. They sometimes it can have real results or real consequences, right? And sometimes they just don't want the issue. They just don't want the drama or the smoke. So I get what you're saying. It's bullshit. It's an irrational belief of superiority. It's an irrational belief of entitlement because you were told that you're above this group of people, and the other people were told that they're beneath. And it's not just a gender thing; it's also a racial thing. So you understand? So I understand. You're like, none of this shit makes sense to me. Of course, it doesn't make sense to you. You're the green gorilla, motherfucker. Like you, Gigi. It ain't
Man,
supposed to make sense to you. You're supposed to be like, nigga, fuck that, nigga. I ain't with it. I'm
yeah, I
Mark.
just don't
I ain't
understand.
with it
Like, you
either.
know, like these
You know what I'm
women are in
saying?
shock. They coming into contact with people like Kevin Samuels. Like, I don't understand what's shocking about Kevin Samuels. Like,
He's
I just,
counterculture.
yeah, I mean, well, you know, I just don't understand what's really shocking about the shit, given the
Nah.
context of like this. That's why I said, like, you got hip hop, motherfuckers love these guys. You know, like there's a whole media, you know, industry related to promoting, you know, exploring and understanding the voice of these artists who, for the most part, are like, man, fuck these bitches. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, we act as if, like, in the barbershop, when you get your hair cut, the guys ain't like, man, these motherfuckers, bitches tripping, or
Yeah,
whatever the case may be. We
in
act
the
like,
barbershop to save space though.
well, you know, like, you know, I went to all black college, man, and you know, guys will treat women like, you know, with a certain level, I guess, of some kind of respect. But I mean, you know, we'll go off on one too. We'll like, I mean, like, it ain't like I don't understand the idea of why guys feel like they have to take the gloves off when at least talking to women. And then if you get snarky and disrespectful, I'm gonna be like, man, bitch, who you talking to?
But you understand what I'm saying though, right?
I get it. I understand what you're talking about, bro. I get it. But I mean, but women have always known that there are men who just are like, man, cut the fucking malarkey out. Like, at some point, we got to have a straight up one-to-one where I'm telling you what it is I think, candidly and openly, without all of this fucking etiquette bullshit.
Only if you shift culture. Listen, we're living in a culture that didn't exist 50 years ago. 50 years ago, there was a different culture, right? 50 years ago, it was okay, right, to say certain things on TV racially and things like that. Culture changes, morality changes, morality shifts. You understand what I'm saying? There was things that it was cool to say 50 years ago that it's not cool to say now.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, nigga can't drink from the same water fountain as me. I don't fucking know. Like, you know, sit at the back of the bus, Negroes. What I'm saying is, right? It was cool to say that then. Right? It was cool. Understand this though. Understand this, right? I understand everything you're saying. We're counterculture. Some years from now, shit will shift again. There's words that you can't use today that you could use 50 years ago. Shit, there's words that you can't use today that you could use 10 years ago. Imagine Eminem with all his talk about, you know, LGBT. If he came out now as opposed to back then with that same content, he couldn't do it. Right? So, and that's not that long ago, bro. This is within our lifetime. This is our generation. So what I'm saying to you is, I agree with everything you're saying, but I think what you want to say is you can't relate to being the you know, the culture control conformist. You're not a conformist. You're a non-conformist. You're counterculture. None of us.
I'm Archie, like your boy Leon Bentley said, man. I'm Archie Bunker, man. I'm George Jefferson.
You got listen, you got white people who feel like the shit that they can't say now that they could say 50 years ago, they got an issue with that, right? So understand this, bro. Again, I understand what you're saying, right? But culture is the prevailing belief of the group in a given space and in a given time. And that shit moves around and it bounces around like a fucking ball. And again, you leave this country, you'll have other cultures and other belief systems where they look at this country like, I don't understand what the fuck y'all motherfuckers is going through. And then we look at them the same way, like, you know, right? So I get what
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you what it is, Marcus.
I understand you though.
No, but here's what it is, right? You know why you can't say? It's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you what the shit that happened. But I never bought into it. But I can tell you what happened. White women became niggas. after the civil rights movement. They occupy the same moral space as niggas. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, if you say something against gay people or trans people, it's like you said the N-word.
We know how we got here.
But I'm like, look, I'm not a slave, so I don't understand slave morality. My ancestors may have been slaves. I get it. I get it. I'm not like the guy, from, the brother, my frat brother who created, Black History Week, or Negro History Week, which grew into Black History Month. I'm not going to open the door at the back of the house. You understand? In order to go in where I've always gone in. I'm not going to carve out a space at the back door. I'm not Carter G. Woodson, I'm not doing what Carter G. Woodson said that the average Negro was going to do.
But again, average Negro, I understand you can't relate to that bullshit.
So I don't, but okay, guys are enculturated to some degree to defer to women. But like, at the end of the day, bro, that's why, the brothers in the academy, like Tommy Curry, Dr. Johnson, Ronald Neal, or whatever the case may be, man, it's important that they exist and are saying the kind of things that they're saying. Because, that's where, the academy is where a lot of the battlegrounds for what we talking about are actually going to take place, to begin to break down those barriers to say, okay, well, look, we can say whatever it is we want to say. Like Tommy Curry, man, you know how much they hate that dude, man? Like, I've been in circles and conversations where, I don't, like the same shit that was said about Kevin Samuels, I don't like his delivery. Okay, I get what he's saying, but I don't like how, like the openness and the candor with which he's saying it. Like, that's tone policing. You say you don't like tone policing, but now you're trying to tone police this guy. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bruh, I'm just ready for guys, man, to start coming out and just telling these women the truth, man, whatever the fucking consequences are. Like, look.
You waiting for that? It's happening.
Like, fuck what you talking about, lady.
It's happening.
I don't care if it's my sister. If my sister on some bullshit, I'm going to tell her, hey, sister, you on some bullshit. If one of my cousins on some bullshit, I'm going to tell them, cuz, you on some bullshit. But most of my family already know me. They know how I talk. They know I'm brash. They know I'm profane, vulgar, but also intellectual. They know who I am, so therefore they're not going to be taken aback by me saying what's on my mind. And, I'm a philosopher, so, the job of the philosopher is to preserve and to, reveal the truth and to, investigate and to search for the truth. So at the end of the day, look, these women just going to have to get over this shit. At some point, like, if you fucking 300 pounds and you got 3 kids and you look like a hot fucking mess, you're not going to find a motherfucking nigga making 100 plus a year. You just ain't. So that's why you're upset at Kevin over that shit. That's just common sense.
So let's not get sidetracked, bro. What I want to lean more into, and Shane, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What I want to lean more into is how we deal with this, because understand, we know all of these things, right? And what I try to do is not just talk about, like I call it the history lesson of how we got here and all of that stuff. What I want you to express, and then I want Shane to speak also, because he hasn't spoken in a while. I want you to express, right? I want you to express how you feel black men, because I know you just said you want dudes to start, giving it to women directly, right? I want men to understand that there's no benefit into doing it the way you're doing, right? The guys who are, afraid to speak, because understand there's a lot of guys who follow us and watch these videos who they follow us because we're saying what's on their mind. that they might not be in a position to say, or they feel like they in a position to say, right? What I'm trying to express to guys is to carry yourself in a manner that serves you, right? We know what the bitches is on. We know what they on. You know what I'm saying? We understand, you know, what they believe and what they expect, and that it makes no sense. It's irrational. We talk about that shit all day. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm telling men tonight is stop playing your part in that lie. Stop playing your part in that bullshit. Stop going to church, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? If you know that a man can't live in a fish, you know that a man can't walk on water, you know all this type of shit is bullshit. You're scared not to believe it because you were told you would go to hell. Black men were told that there's a place for them if they don't do what women say. That either they will not be a real man, because as a man, right, this is their duty. It's natural for you to serve us. This is what you're born to do. It's natural. Right? This is what they tell you. It's natural. This is your born job. Right? So what I'm here to tell men tonight is not what the bitches believe, but fuck that. And I know you agree with that. And you know, I'm telling them you're not obligated to that lie. It's a lie. You could be a man outside of that construct. Right? Now I know that most of the guys watching this is, you know, you might say, well, you're preaching to the choir because this is a manosphere broadcast. This is Red Pill, and most of the guys that are listening to us speak are already of the belief. But you got a lot of guys who kind of struggle in between, like, yo, like, you know, we still have remnants of that shit in us. It's like Iron Man with the little pieces of metal in his heart still there, right? But you know, it's like we react like the Tommy thing. A lot of the guys watch that video and they're of the belief that me and you are of, but they kind of reacted like, oh, he did too much, right? But you have to realize it's that teaching, it's that the girls are gonna do what they're gonna do, bro. It's not about changing the world, it's changing your reaction to it. You understand what I'm saying? We cannot change the women.
No, nor should we try to.
No, nor should we again agree. And nor should we try to. We got to change our reaction to it. It's like, okay, y'all want to do that? We're gonna do this. Now, if enough of us do this over time, and BGS has done a whole video on it, right? Where, you know, as time moves forward, there are different patterns. Then they have to adapt to that.
I'll tell you what guys need to do, man.
I want black men to escape the black female plantation.
What guys need to do, man, is, you know, like, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, you made a reference to Eminem. You gotta say, hey, I am whatever you say I am. And if I wasn't, then why would you say I am? So I'm gonna give me a t-shirt, man. It says, I am a misogynist. And wear that motherfucker in Hooters or something. You know, like I'm gonna go to Twin Peaks. Say, you know, I am a fucking misogynist. And proud of it on the back of the motherfucker. And see what, and, you know, and I'll probably get laid that night for having that shirt on.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. I was talking to somebody. I don't know if it was, I don't think it was you, Shane. It was somebody else. I'm going to say this, and I want Shane to chime in. And we keep this short because I want Shane to chime in. I said that a lot of people nowadays, they want to hold an ideology, but they don't want to wear the label. And you got a lot of people who want to say racist things, but they don't want to be called racist. So then I made a determination. I said, listen, and I told females this. I said, I guess I'm a misogynist. And they said, you're not a misogynist. You don't hate women. You treat women like this and this and this and this. I said, cool. But if if you're saying these things and the world is receiving it as that, then I'm not calling myself a misogynist, but understand if somebody puts the label on me, I'm not going to fight it, because at the end of the day, you're going to say that about me anyway.
Exactly.
It's like, what is it, Flavor Flav? He said they're going to call me nigga anyway. Right?
I am whatever you say I am.
Black people shouldn't use the N-word. They're going to call you a nigga anyway. If you don't say it, they will, and they'll think it, and they will act accordingly, and the world will not change because you don't. Doesn't mean anything. Shane, chime in, please.
I think what it sounds like you're trying to say is that when men need to learn how to be unapologetic and just stand on what they are. I've always, I had to teach myself how to become unapologetic. So if I have a certain stance on something, if someone doesn't like it, that's their problem. And some people might make character assassinations against me, saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with you for saying this," and I'm like, maybe there is, but I said it, and that's what I believe, and these are the facts of why.
Hey, Hybrid Ninja Perspective, just to point this out, those are Rakim's lyrics.
Yes, they are.
Okay. That's what. That's
the R to the A to the K I am, and if I wasn't, then why would you say I am? So yeah, yes, let's rock him.
Well, Eminem,
but with a twist, with
a that you made it. But understand this: it's deeper than just your stance and your beliefs. Because I did the video "Fuck the Thought Police," and we know who the Thought Police are. But aside from what you think, again, this is about master morality. I don't do anything that doesn't benefit me. I'm not present or give my participation to anything that I do not derive a benefit from.
Yeah,
it's all encompassing. It's all encompassing. I don't work for free.
And for men trying to develop themselves in that type of maturity, it actually takes practice. It really does. I mean, because
yes, it does.
A lot of men can't just step out. No matter how much they want to, they can't just step out and say, "I'm gonna just start doing this." They have to rewire themselves and train themselves and be consistent with it. So anytime somebody wants anything of you, no matter what it is, don't fall into that altruism. You have to demand some sort of compensation for whatever it is. It's just principle.
Everything is there's growing pains. It's a process. Like dieting, like getting your money right. Everything, especially, when you learn something one way, right? And you have to change your thinking. You have to rewire. You have to kind of like, that's a thing, bro. We still got. No, I was just gonna say we still holding on to things from our childhood that are irrational, but we're struggling to get rid of them. You want to say something?
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to have a problem with the phrase "what's in it for me," but now that I'm older, I look at it very differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That phrase doesn't necessarily mean I'm just selfish and I'm always wanting something for myself. It's, to me now, it's more of just principle, because you have to have a different way to navigate through this society, especially if you want people to take you seriously and respect you.
Everyone asks. Everyone is taught to ask, what's in it for me, except for slaves. There's nothing in it for slaves.
You can get
all
the
that's
big
in it
piece
for
of chicken.
slaves is the act itself, and the self-righteousness that comes with that act. And you are to derive a benefit from doing something that benefits other people. I'm a man. As a man, I protect. As a man, I provide. As a man. And you are taught not to expect anything in return. Like you said, it's a thankless job, and you're taught that that's normal and that's cool and that's proper and that's righteous. The righteous is a deep word, and again, I'm going to morality here. Okay, and you're taught that that's righteous. You know, Jesus was somebody that was poor, right? And we got Creflo Dollar and TD Jakes, but they teach that, you know, Jesus was a poor man, so give me all your money so you can be more like Jesus. Right? So you know, what I'm saying is that doesn't make sense, and it doesn't have to. It's their belief. It's what they were taught from young, man. You have animals in the wild, and you have animals that are domesticated, and they're not the same, because that domesticated animal has been taken out of the wild and taught a different way, and they have been raised this way, and they'll never be wild. They're you know, their nature is still there, but their behavior has been altered to a degree. We have been taken out of the wild, bro. We have been domesticated. We've been broken and all of that shit. Again, we know the history, and we are trying to unbreak. Understand, we know how we were broken, but we also know who's maintaining. We know who empowers those people. But at the end of the day, now we are complicit, because we are now operating against our self-interests autonomously.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us. It doesn't have to make sense. We were taught to, and we think it's proper and righteous. And that's what we have to let go. If it ain't for you, you don't get a slice of pie, you ain't coming to the party. If you trying to fuck and you can't fuck, then I ain't fucking with you then. We've been taught. I've had girls in my youth tell me, "Oh, you just want some pussy." Yeah, I do, bro. I was saying this shit in my Twitter, yo, bro. I ain't give a fuck. Yes, I do want pussy. I'm supposed to want pussy. You ain't gonna shame me. There's all this shaming. You're shamed out of your end of the deal. You're cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because you look at how a lot of women move. When guys try to shame them, oh, you just want to get the bag, and they'll sit there in their face and be like, yeah.
Because in this culture, that's applauded. It's celebrated that they say that. Me and you've had this discussion too. You know, in this culture, it is celebrated that they operate self-interest, and your self-interest is demonized. You know why? Because without you, it falls apart.
Well, you know, let me just say this, Marcus, man, and I'm gonna pull out, bro. These women have made black men obsolete, bro.
No, the state has done that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, white women did it, actually.
No, white men have done that.
Well, white women and, you know, white men. I mean, white women and white men together have done it. You know, they created these bureaucracies, these agencies, these services. So, you know, like, you don't need a Negro in order to make sure that you're cool. The police is the protection agency. So, you know, you really can't do anything for these chicks. So,
Provide a male's dead.
So, I mean, what you can provide is service. You can provide toe rubs, sperm, and feel good,
Dick,
you know, fuckery. You can give them all that. Okay, so, but just understand that, you know, when you give those services, you do so to your own, you know, your detriment. And now I'll say this: there's some cool chicks out here, you know. There's some cool chicks, man, that understand that. Like, look, I want a man. I don't want a fucking half a man. I don't want a yes man. I want a real fucking dude. But then there are a lot of women who, you know, put on the veneer like they want a real man. But in actuality, what they, you know, use is, I'm going to tell you, the biggest tactic that women use is the removal of their affection and their so-called dedication to you. They'll begin to withdraw and to play the emotional, psychological game. All right? Yeah. The passive-aggressive game. When that begins to happen, man, it's time for you to get the fuck out. Remove your presence immediately and don't play the game at all. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care if it's your daughter. I don't care if it's your mother. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to play those type of games, then you really don't respect me to come to me directly and tell me what the fuck it is you want. And you got to be comfortable telling women no. Like, no. I'm not for that. No, I don't want to do that. No. So if a woman begins to play that type of game, you're going to get further caught into some bullshit if you play that game with her. You're not going to win that game. All right, so...
Well, most of the time they're going to
win. You're just going to get dragged down to her level.
So don't play the game. And you're right, though. If it ain't if there's no reciprocity in the association, break it. You're a pimp. She's a hoe. Break the chain, let her go. That's motherfucking 8-ball and MJG. You understand what I'm saying? Do what needs to be done. Look after your own interests and your own needs before anybody else's. But, if there's a puddle, don't fucking lay your fucking Adidas jacket in the puddle to protect this motherfucker's, feet from getting wet. Fuck all that. This is a new day and age. I'm not walking. I hate to say this shit, but I'm going to be like Nino Brown. Protect me, motherfucker. I don't want to get shot. You take the bullet, motherfucker.
I am not walking on the outside of the sidewalk.
But, people will say that's a punk move that Nino Brown did at the end of New Jack City where, he put the women in front of them like, you going to catch this hot one instead of me. But, I mean, hey, they've been doing this shit all along. That's the funny thing about it. They've been putting you in front of the bullet all along and making it seem like this is where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be taking this bullet, not me. But you got to think to yourself, how did you come to accept that deal? Like in nature, like think about lions. It's the lionesses who protect. Like if some motherfuckers come tripping around that fucking pride, them lionesses are handle the work unless it's too big for them to handle. Then the male lion.
You could train a lion from birth to jump through a flaming hoop.
Yeah, but some lions,
but I'm saying that some lions maybe not, but it's been done. It has been. I've been to P.T. Barnum and Bailey, Ringling Brothers shit, and I've seen that shit done. I've seen lions jump through hoops. My point to you is that, of course, it doesn't make sense for the lion to do that. The lion gets no benefit from jumping through flames, but he's been taught, hey, if you do this, it might be a stake in it for you.
Hey man, look. This I'm gonna say, like I said before.
Get me?
I get it. Hey, look, I'm you preaching to the choir. All I can say is amen. I understand, but like, I don't want to hold up your show, bro. But
no, you're not doing that. But go ahead. We soon we're gonna do closing remarks because I think we done hit every point. But go ahead, finish your thought though.
You should make it a practice to tell women no, especially if you're dating them. Like, can we go here? No. Why can't we go there? Because I don't want to. Ain't no other explanation.
Yeah, I've learned that you should tell them no, even if you do want to do it for them.
No. Why are you saying no? Because I said it. And I have the right to say it. Like if a man tells a woman, if a woman tells a man no, a man is supposed to understand that no means no without any motherfucking questions related to it, any arguments to support it, the no. Like no means no.
And don't even explain it to her. Say no and walk away the same way they do it.
Tell them no.
Well,
And if you can't tell a woman no, then I think you got some pre-Oedipal issues. I think a lot of guys, and I call it pre-Oedipal because you haven't broken the chain with your mother yet. You're still trying to please your moms. And I tell people, man, look, I have one mother. I don't have a million mothers. So this Mother Earth goddess shit, like, I get it, I understand it, but like, my mother's dead, bro. And I tell women this shit too. Like, my mom is dead. Now, unless you can raise her back from the grave, then, you know, like, I don't need to be mothered. I fucking got off the tit before the tit got off of me because I was fed motherfucking formula instead of breast milk, motherfucker. So I've broken the chain a long time ago. My mother weaned me from running into the bedroom with her by the time I was 3-4 fucking years old, okay? So I don't need your approval or validation for who it is that I am. Yeah, I don't need you. Now you can be cool. We can build something if you want to, but like I personally, my advice to young guys now, I know a lot of guys might be listening to this in shock, but the game is rigged. You wouldn't knowing if you're from the hood and you know that the guys out there asking you to play 3-card Monte are going to fucking take you from your money. They're going to let you win a couple of times, but in the end, if you bet big, you're going to fucking lose. Okay? Don't play the game. The game is rigged. Luther Campbell, Dr. Dre. I mean, I'm just saying, like, Emmett Smith, Michael Jordan. The game is rigged. It's not for you. It's for them.
No, we get that. What I'm saying is this, right? And I agree with everything you're saying. Again, this is stuff that we've discussed. And K. Williams, this comment made me laugh inside.
We are in an abuse meeting. We are.
Yo, slavery. Slavery is some traumatic shit. P.S. What is it? Post-traumatic slave disorder, and that's what we're dealing with. So what I'm gonna say to you, G, this is more than about what our connection is with our mothers. Understand the entire society supports it. So whatever, let's say you learned this from your mother and your mother only, but then when you leave your house, the world operates on an ideology that is different from what you learned in your household. Early on, you might think these motherfuckers is on some other shit, but then what you'll do is your shit will shift as you get older to that ideology. It's like kids who grow up in Hispanic households and learn Spanish first and then go outside and learn English, right? So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it's deeper than mama. You ain't just trying to please mama, you're trying to please society. Society is pushing this. Society is pushing the slave ideology of black men and your culture, right? So when I say society, I mean even outside of black culture, you are the slave, and then inside of black culture, you are the slave. So even if you were, in difference to your mother, even outside of the home, you're seeing examples of this normalized and being accepted as righteous behavior, right? So again, for me, this is not a lesson in female nature. This is more of a lesson in men understand that this morality, this, righteous by way of sacrifice, falling on swords, all this other shit is a lie. You will not win operating this way. You won't win.
Where did the idea of the good black man even come from?
From everything we're talking about. It's slavery. It is you're breeding slaves. You are teaching a morality that benefits everyone other than you. And you're telling the slave, you're a good slave. This is like you learn in slavery, you were a good slave. Now it's the good black man. But Same as a good slave. And K. Williams, yes, we are in an abuse meeting. This is trauma. This is years and years of slave breeding. We are bred slaves. Now there are men that grow up with their father, and their father teach them some real shit. And then they walk outside and they see what's going on, and they look at niggas like, y'all niggas is crazy. I don't see how you win.
Go back and watch that video I did on the anatomy of female power by the Arthur Chinweizy.
I was on the video.
I know you were, but I'm just saying to the people out there in the chat, right? Go watch that video, because what he said is, look, even there's three types of dudes. You got machos, simps, and then you got masculinists. Okay?
Yeah.
The machos are slaves as well.
No, I understand that.
That's so it's important. It's important for people to understand, because they might not understand it. They think that the simp is the slave, right? But the simp is the guilt trip guy who basically allows women to, you know, browbeat them with morality, right? But the macho is a bigger simp, because he thinks that he's in control, but really he's pinky and not the brain.
Bro, I don't care what you call it. If you are practicing an ideology that does not benefit you, you a slave. I don't care if you're a macho man slave or a simp slave. I don't care what kind, or you know, a good man slave, or as a man I'm a slave. Nigga, you a slave. If you don't demand your part of the interaction, you're a slave. I want closing remarks, man. It's time for us to go, man. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, G?
Not really, man. Just brothers, man. You know, like you said, man, do what's in your best interest. If it don't feel right, if you feel dirty after having done it, don't do it. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's really simple. I mean, I'm trying to get visceral. Like, if you feel like you're playing yourself by doing it, don't do it. If a motherfucker got you going all across town to go get a pastry and you bringing it to a fucking lunch so she can show your ass how big of a servant you are to her at a job or some shit like that, don't fucking do it.
So
especially if she ain't gonna even make you a sandwich or blow you off or something. Don't do it, bro. I'm out of here, man. I'm G with PhD, man. You ain't on the Green Gorilla channel. You
sign your name on shit, motherfucker. Sign my name, G with the motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm G with PhD, man. And look, you guys, man. You know, we're at a time where, you know, like everywhere you turn, people are trying to say there's something wrong with you. I mean, but while they're saying all the things that are wrong about you, they demand that you say nothing about them, or you get called, you know, the misogynist, toxic,
slavery ain't fair.
You uppity Negro, you want to be a white man type of guy, motherfucker. Well, you know, give me my honorary Chad status. Then I'm taking all the names that you put out there that's so-called negative. I'm gonna take them and turn them into something positive. Because if it wasn't for the fact that you really actually are afraid by me doing what I'm doing, you wouldn't have these fucking titles and these labels for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear them like badges of honor. It's your local misogynist, GG. I'm out of here, man.
All right, bro. Thanks for jumping in here, man.
Peace out, brother.
All right, peace, man. Shane.
Yo.
Talk to me, man.
Well, my closing remarks is, I'll say for the guys that like this way of thinking might feel new to them, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Because I remember the first time when I was really, you know, killing the blue pill inside of me. It felt very uncomfortable to like grow a spine. You know what I mean? But there's something that's necessary if you're gonna survive. I mean, it's natural selection. You know, if you don't become strong, you ain't gonna survive. And part of that strength is having having some real self-esteem and character within yourself to know what you want for yourself. You know, you shouldn't feel bad for wanting something for yourself, because when you're blue pilled, you feel like you should put yourself last to be a quote unquote real man, you know. So it's important to know what you want for yourself and don't feel bad about it. Take every opportunity, kicking and screaming through every door you go to open. So always demand something for yourself. Don't do nothing for free. Nothing.
So that's kind of the territory I'm going into right now. A slave is an unpaid worker. A slave is an unpaid worker. I don't think there's anybody in this chat watching this live right now that works a 9 to 5 and does not expect a paycheck at the end of the week. If Friday came and you did not get a paycheck at the end of the week, not only would you quit the job, you'd be ready to fuck some shit up. Right?
Facts.
Facts. But then we have a different understanding and morality attached to our relationships with women. We are willing to work for free because we are told that there is virtue and honor and righteousness in doing so. You don't go to your job with that belief because you understand that that's slavery. Once upon a time in this country, you went to work for free and you fought to not have to do that. You fought to not be owned. You fought for that. Now we could talk about, you know, the irrationalities of women and how they do one thing, or they say one thing and they do another, or they believe one thing and do shit in conflict, how they fight for abortion rights, and then we'll get mad if you suggest abortion, right? All this conflict. What we as men, there's that shit again, as men.
Oh, you said it.
But this as men is going to benefit you. What we as men should not do is move irrationally as the women in offering ourselves, our time, our energy, and our resources for free. We fought against slavery. Nobody ain't got no whip or chain on us necessarily. And we are acting out of our own autonomy because we were taught that there is honor, righteousness, and virtue for doing so. Once upon a time, they taught slaves the same thing. They gave the slaves a Bible, and they learned that there is honor and righteousness in being a good slave, working for free. And any slave that asked, "What's in it for me?" was looked at like he had 8 heads, from the plantation owner down to the overseer, down to the other fucking slaves. He was the outlier. He was counterculture. Slavery was the culture. Those other slaves didn't know that they were slaves. They were born into it. They were told that is their role, that is their duty, through righteousness. Slaves, obey your masters. There's a whole manual in the Bible on how to conduct yourself as a slave, and also how slaves are to be treated by slave masters. And some of that is how they should deal with you in disobedience. It's in the Bible. You don't believe me? Google it. I ain't lying to you. We do not work for free. Slavery is over. This is not the 1800s. I don't care what you want from the deal. This isn't, and I have to say this, Shane, this isn't about high road or going down to anyone's level. I don't give a fuck what you want. I don't give a fuck if you want your dick sucked. If that's what you want for your presence, participation, whatever it is that you bring, that's what you want. And if you don't get it, you don't give shit. You don't work for free. Now, earlier, you were talking about the word no. When I was on 42nd Street in my studio, I took a piece of paper. This is real shit. I got pictures of it. And I put the word no on it. And I taped it to the wall near my desk. You know where I get that from? You watch Casino. In, what is it? Sam Rothstein's office. There was a picture. I don't know if it was framed or it was just a piece of paper that said no on the wall. No. If you have to take the word no, print it out on your inkjet, laser jet, whatever the fuck, and put that shit on the wall so that you know that is a part of the English fucking language for you to say. You paste that shit on the wall. I put it up there so that when somebody asks me some shit, I just point to it. No. You know, we grow up and we want to be part of that thing that, you know, we're told if we do this, then we're good people. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, sometimes you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right? So you got to tell motherfucker, no. 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 And like Shane said, and like G with the PhD said, sometimes you say no just to see. Because this is a good to trick girls play on us all the time. Say no just to see what somebody's reaction going to be. Because if they fuck with you, a no is acceptable. And if you give them no, then yes means something when they get it. If you give them too many yeses, then a no will be met with entitlement. Don't be afraid to say no out of the risk of not fucking. Don't be a slave to pussy. There's pussy all over the place. You can get pussy. You can fly on a plane and get pussy. You can talk to another chick and get pussy. There's pussy all over the place. Believe it. Trust me. You know? And Marcus, sometimes it's easy for you to say. For some guys, they might feel that way. I ain't saying the guys in this chat feel that way, but I've heard shit like that. It's easy for you to say, Marcus. Understand, it's easy for you to say. We're in a first world country. No. Slaves cannot say no. They were forced to work for free. You're not working for free. There's nothing forcing you to work for free. If you're not a slave, you do not work for free. You don't care what it looks like. You don't care what people think of you. You don't care about self-righteousness. And you abandon this morality that you've been taught. You got to walk away from that shit. You are not obligated to anyone. And nobody's obligated to you. If you understand those two things, you'll go far. Not obligated to nobody. The only weapon that they have at this point is shame. Shame won't make you bleed. Shame won't cut your skin. It won't chop your head off. Shame, shame, shame. Remember that shit back in the day?
Man.
All they got. And here's where I do my Denzel face, y'all. That's all they got. They gonna shame you. That's all they got. Shame. They gonna throw it at you. Who hurt you? Your mama black. They gonna throw it all at you. Right? Understand. You get on this shit, it'll get you further with them than the other shit. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to burn it down. Be willing to burn the relationship for self-interest. The worst that'll happen is they don't fuck with you. Right?
And that don't hurt either.
That don't hurt either. But you know what's worse? How you'll feel about yourself. Unfolded. Self-respect is worth way more than their respect. And you'll gain their respect. You'll gain it. But don't trade yours for it. Don't trade your self-respect for theirs. Because it won't work. These women will tell you the nice guy will lose. Don't worry about being nice. You are not a slave. You don't work for free. Stop being a slave. Forget what your mama taught you. And in some cases, forget what your daddy taught you because he learned that shit. Like Kendra G's father. He was a slave. Some of these guys that's in this manosphere, I'm not going to say their names today, are slaves. You are telling me what I need to do as a man for free. You are selling slavery to me. I don't buy into slavery. Master morality. That's what you need to practice unapologetically. Like Gigi said, unapologetically, don't feel bad about it. You gain more than you lose. We good, Shane?
We good.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming out. You know the rest. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother, K. Williams. I see you. You know, I'm going to start handing out some wrenches in this motherfucking man. But, hey, man. Don't be a slave, man. Be a master. Who's the master? Y'all remember Last Dragon, right?
Sure enough.
Sure enough. Who's the master?
Sure enough. Yeah.
100, baby.
Fucker.
Peace.